Hi everybody, and welcome to an extra very special Hobby Titans live stream. As always, I'm joined today by the internet's Adrian Phillips. Adrian, how's it going?
Hi, I'm doing great. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, we are both very excited for the content that is coming out Sigmar-wise right now.
That's right.
I know it's an army that I'm building. I'm super excited about this army. Which is the Daughters of Khaine. And you know, you have a lot of loves when it comes to armies in both 40K and AOS.
It's kind of a problem.
Yeah. Is this up there for you?
It is up there. It has a special place in my heart because it was my first full Sigmar army, not coming from a previous fantasy army.
Yeah.
And also, I got it when I got married.
That's
so
right.
Very excited. This is when the book first came out.
Yeah.
It's been quite a while. So really excited for the new book and all the new models that are coming out with it, including some that are painted today.
That was from the box. I'll vouch for that. Arena of Shades is this box that is this super cool story. We've had it for a few days.
Yep.
Oh, you know, I didn't bring the book in today. It comes in a little book.
You're going to bring it.
But I've read through the book a few times. I know the story. It's a really cool story. We'll talk a little bit about it. No spoilers. No spoilers.
Minor spoilers.
Minor spoilers. Daughters of Khaine versus Night Haunt. I love these boxes that are just like, here's a bad guy, and here's like pretty much another bad guy.
Right.
And that's this box. We're really excited. We're gonna hear your story about how you got this army because it's really sweet.
Yeah, totally.
And we'll talk some Arena of Shades, talk some Sigmar. Let's get creative.
Let's do this thing.
Okay, this is not a model from the Arena of Shades box.
Sure.
This is actually from one of the little War Cry, I want to say, or boxes, or is it for all schools?
It's either Warcry or a Underworld's Warband.
Yeah.
There's actually several in this army of these little individual kits.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So here's what's really cool about these kits. First, if you are playing Sigmar, they're nice because they're usually inexpensive, and you can like toss them in the army. You and I were talking about the Soulblight Gravelord one.
Totally.
But I also like them because this one is Morgan Wrath, and she's like a Hag Queen alternative.
Oh, perfect.
And I'm just going to use her as a Hag Queen. And then she comes with 2 Witch Elves, a Bow Snake, which are called Melusai, Bloodstalker, and then a Sisters of Slaughter. But really, they're just like all alternate models.
Right.
I think I'm gonna use her as a Slaughter Queen or a Hag Queen. Not sure yet.
Totally.
Or I might just use her as the leader of a Witch Elf squad.
Someone distinguished.
Exactly.
It's much more dynamic than some of the other kits. So it kind of helps stand out, and it also gives you a chance to start playing around, experimenting with this scheme. This is a new army for you.
Yeah.
You know, you've only painted 1 unit so far, which you guys have seen if you've watched the show before, and so it's a cool opportunity to, before you dive on into sort of all the battle line, really take some extra time and figure out what you want to do with it.
Absolutely. I feel so. I painted the Doomfire Warlocks, which were the horse jokes Meg and folks were making, and they're very different than the rest of the army.
Yeah.
They're in the lore. They're a little more sickly.
Yeah. They're men.
The rest of the army is all women. So they have a lot kind of going on that makes them different. And I wanted to get in and do them first to just kind of get a color concept.
Right.
But now that I'm on this, I have to say the past week or so, before I get the main look of an army down, I'm usually quite nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the skin especially, I really want to get their skin right. I want to get their hair right. The faces. Lots of stuff, because I haven't gone in and painted an army that's this small and detailed. You know, Craft World Eldar, all my guys have helmets on.
Yep.
Tau, all helmets. And then my Sigmar army that I've really worked on the most is Ogres, who are 4 times the size.
Very similar. Yeah. The proportions are big, they're exaggerated.
Yeah.
That can be very fun and easy skin to paint, easy faces to paint. With the daughters, it's kind of like we were talking about Sisters of Battle, very difficult because they're supposed to be pristine and human-like. And so your eye is going to be much more critical of these things. Yeah. So that's definitely a big challenge.
That's what it is, right? Even Ogre eyes, I just dot a little non-oil gloss at the end, so they have these black, shiny, beady eyes.
Yeah. That's how I do all my monster eyes.
Right, not going to work here with these ladies. So really excited to hop in. What I'm going to be painting today is the character from Arena of Shades. Ooh. She's called the High Gladiatrix. If we do a shoulder view here, I'll show her. This is quite interesting. You guys are going to love how she shows up. Okay, big reveal. Here she is. Now, what is this thing? This is a whip that I've left unattached that corkscrews around her body. So here she is. unpaint it, and I'm going to go through my process here on her. She's got kind of a thematic base, you can see. Well, a part of a thematic base, actually. Just a tactical rock, as we call them.
There it is.
This is her arm, the whip.
Oh my gosh.
I've left it separate because, not because honestly it makes the whip easier to paint, but it's going to make her easier to paint because otherwise this is where the whip ends up.
You can't get in there.
Corkscrewed around her, and I don't want to deal with that the whole time I'm painting her, right?
It makes for a great model when it's done, but oh my goodness, it's
a little bit of a pain,
It's difficult getting there. And you really, really do need a sub-assembly if you don't want to make your life a pain. So,
you need to sub-assembly, and what's worse about the sub-assembly is that her arm is where it connects, so that's like skin. That's like a clean skin transition. It's not like that starts being I don't think that starts being a glove right there.
It would have been a good choice.
It might have been, but listen, I will say this: very few people appreciate the ends justify the means when it comes to art more than me. So look, if it's a pain in the butt to do it, doesn't matter. The end product is going to look sick. I'm all on board.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk about some ways to deal with this, and we just did. Don't completely put it together.
Put it together. You have to resist. Play with her without an arm if you have to, because you'll thank yourself. You'll thank us.
You'll thank everyone. What are you working on?
I'm working on a couple things from Arena of Shades. I haven't been able to resist kind of getting my hands on it, digging on in. You guys can see.
There is a producer zoom.
I think there's a closer zoom. All right, cool. So I have the sort of writing character. I think his name is like something Temper Mortis thing. Scriptor Mortis, that's what it is. I've done sort of all the base layers. We've got the airbrush done, the base skin, and so I'm mostly doing detail. We'll have some fun with the actual book here, doing some detail work there. We'll do some bone, which we didn't get to do last time I was on, because we just didn't have any on those models. And then I've also got these awesome Craven Guard. These are the new unit, the crossbowmen. And I've done kind of the same thing. I went ahead and did the ghostly bases here, done the cloaks on top. And so again, lots of detail work, brush work. We've got a cool banner. We'll have some fun with it. And then I do have the Banshees, which frankly, this is done. This is kind of the level that my current Night Haunt is all done to. So we'll see, depending on how time goes, if I want to try to experiment on that, expand on it. It's always cool to kind of come back to previous schemes and decide if you want to revise it.
It's cool. You feel you've grown as a painter, and you're like, hey, let's do this. And Night Haunt are this army that like you can actually get away with not a lot at first.
Frankly, yeah.
But then you can come back, and they'll always take more paint.
Exactly.
Weirdly, something maybe more intricate like Daughters or something like coming back and adding more paint. You're maybe going to do a few of the basics. You're going to maybe edge highlight a little bit better. You're going to maybe recess wash. But as far as like adding in something new and interesting, you can start to make that look cluttered. An army like this is like perfect.
It can look cluttered, or if you're adding stuff in it doesn't look cluttered, it means maybe you didn't get enough done the first time around.
Right. And that's why you'd want to go back.
It's harder to get started, but once you get there, it's kind of it. So. Cool. Well, let's go ahead and dive on in. I actually have like no airbrush to start with, which is a weird thing for me. So I'm just going to go in and get some base layers. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, I'll chat through how I'm going to be doing these ladies for the army.
Yeah. So what's kind of the beginning process for you?
The first process is we are airbrush base coating with Phoenician purple. Okay. It's like a dark purple. So she is
looking good,
covered in that. Even the whip, which is going to be black. Honestly, I do this thing. I was thinking about this. We have a project we're working on. We won't talk about quite yet, but where it involves. Well, I'll just tease that it involves Marines.
Oh,
but many Marines have a different color helmet, right?
Yeah.
And we were base coating these Marines a color, but the helmet was a different color. And I was like, I'm still going to put that base coat down.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, whether I'm right or not, there's still some element of warmth that's added if it's red, or coolness that's added. So in this case, I want purple to be the underlying color on the whole army, even if it means black is going over it. Keep in mind, folks at home know also I tend to paint with very thin layers.
Yes. Very
because I paint with air paints.
All air, even with brush.
Even with brush. So I want to be able to thinly cover purple with black.
Yeah.
And frankly, like super dark purple. GW doesn't really have a color like that. There is one behind us somewhere that Reaper makes that's like It's like almost black, but you can tell it's a little bit purple. I love that color. Like if her whip ends up that color, cool.
Ooh, I'm into it.
You know.
Because you also, this army is actually quite bright. We were saying earlier, it's kind of synth-wavy in a way, you know?
Yeah, I want to hit the glam cam again, and I can talk about that. I made color choices, and then at the end I made her chest plate verdigris, because we're all like super into verdigris here.
For sure.
And I was just like, oh my god, two of my loves, verdigris and synthwave.
Yeah.
Verdigris kind of lends itself to the synthwave look of turquoise, pink, and purple.
Right.
And that was sort of, I had her painted up. The paint that they do on the High Gladiatrix here that I'm painting right now, she has verdigris on her chest plate as well.
Right.
But she's otherwise not synthwave. So I'm like, what if I take my synthwave colors and add verdigris?
Yes.
And just like triple down on the synthwave.
Look, everything looks better with teal. I'm 100% in support of this.
We've always talked about this. Teal is just this like weird color that goes in anywhere and like either contrasts or complements. Complements. So yeah, she's got teal gems too. I don't know how well you guys can see that at home on her crown, but then her, I went ahead and tinted her armor to make it this teal color.
I love it. It's very cohesive, but there's also like so many different elements. This is really a painter's army. Like if you're looking for a challenge or a way to kind of stretch your wings, actually, which also Zach is looking for.
Yeah.
This is a great army because it has so many different textures and details and colors potentially that it really is a great paint project. I'm super into it.
The next step I'm going to do, I want their bodies to have, their skin to have a little bit of warmth underneath of it, but not too much warmth.
Yeah.
Also, kind of weirdly, we were talking about this. Were you and I just talking about all the bone colors, Citadel? Was that
we
you?
were,
Okay.
yeah.
Gosh,
That was this morning.
Sometimes I can't tell if I had a conversation with you or Kat about paint. So Citadel makes, I love the Citadel airline. You guys know that. They really make no pinks.
Yes.
They make all, like here's Fulgrim pink, which I'm going to use in the army.
Yeah.
But they don't make it in air. The closest thing they make is this cacophony purple.
Right.
It's weird. It's like a warm purple to the extent that like the top of the lid actually looks like you can see the tan in it.
Well, because it's funny because I think that is normally the pairing with Fulgrim pink. Of course, the cacophony being the original name for the Noise Marines.
Right.
Which are pink. Well, I guess they were purple, so that's why. But that's not even the purple that they are. Anyways,
that's not.
The plot just thickens as the more I speak, so it's a weird thing.
But this color is a warm purple.
Yeah.
So this is the front view here is actually a good view. You can see I'm doing some Zenithal in here. That said, this is not too. I'm not too worried about the Zenithal here. The next couple coats are where it's going to matter a little bit more. Now, I will say when you have a model, the sisters have. They're mostly, well, actually she's a little different, but because she has a little bit less hair than a normal sister.
Daughter,
right? Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm thinking 40K here.
That happens a lot with this army.
Yeah, my assumption, I think it's a stylistic choice, but since she's a gladiator. I'm imagining it's so that like something she's in battle with like can't quite as easily grab her hair and like stab her or something.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing is like these big ponytails probably not great for combat.
Yeah.
If I'm honest.
So the daughters in general, I'm painting their skin all over the entire model. They have some armor and they have some straps. They have some clothes. But they have, the skin is the majority and hair is the majority. Most of the models, the hair is actually really awesely separate from on all the witch elves. Yeah. It's totally separate.
Literally a separate part.
So nice, yeah.
Which is great.
That's going to be great. And like the Sisters of Slaughter, the head, which will be metal, is separate, which is, again, really nice.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is painting them their skin color. It's going to paint them up pretty light.
Okay.
And then in the normal style that I do, what's then going to happen is I'm going to use like darker colors on their cloths.
Right.
With thin airbrush paints on a brush so that they will naturally be under highlight, like from, the highlights underneath will peek through.
Exactly.
And that's kind of almost always my technique for painting skin-based stuff like ogres, and that tends to be what I do. So in other words, I'm thinking about the color choices of the whole time, and I'm kind of thinking about the process is really important because as somebody who paints armies, I want the process to be simple and easy and have a lot of like efficiencies built into the process.
Right.
So that once I get going, I was kind of telling Adrian this today, I especially if I can do all the airbrushing in one go, and then maybe airbrush. Honestly, I think I have about 5K of Daughters assembled. Do about 2,500 of them, set the rest aside, and then just grab a unit whenever I want to add it to the army, do some brush work.
Exactly, exactly. It's nice to have that workflow to keep it moving, to be both efficient and also to be mindful of your own kind of stamina as far as painting the army goes. You know, you have to be able to enjoy painting it through, hopefully, all 5,000, or at least getting close to enjoying it the whole time. So, makes sense.
Unfortunately, the kind of funny thing about it is, like, in a lot of Sigmar armies, and a lot of 40K armies too, oftentimes one of the very first things you just absolutely need to crank out is, like, 60 troops.
Yes, yes, exactly. That's why I'm excited to come back to the Night Haunt, and I'm like, you know what they're coming out with is a bunch of characters. That's the most fun thing to paint, you know? The Blade Geist Revenants, I actually have none of, so it's good that we got some in that new box. But other than that, I pretty much have everything. So it's like this guy, we did the Cruel Ghast a couple weeks ago, and now the new boat guy. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to paint him.
Yeah, you guys are getting, you guys got a unit and 2 characters, right?
2 characters, not a new unit. Oh, this is the unit. Yeah,
Craventhrone Guard.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, which is more than you.
More than most lines have gotten.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the Night Haunt is a fairly limited line still. It has a history, of course, because it was just kind of random spirit units and the Malignants from Old Fantasy.
Yeah.
And then when the book came out, it was a big deal because it was like, this is the Night Haunt, the spirits getting their whole army. But they had to make a lot from very few units. And now we're kind of coming back around and getting the second wave, which is cool. Looking for something? Typhon Ash?
Typhon Ash. So after Cacophony Purple, which gives her, I swear, like, I shook this a lot, but you can almost see, if we do a top down here on me,
we could.
You can almost see the tan in Cacophony Purple. I swear that's not airbrush overspray. Like, you can see it's like a bone-like color with purple added to it. So it's like a weird warm purple. So after Cacophony Purple, I picked Typhon Ash because it is, in my opinion, just slightly. This is what we're talking about. There's a million bone there's a million bone paints in general.
Exactly.
There's a couple I don't think my eyes can actually tell the difference, and I'm not that old, so I'm not sure what's going on. But between Carrickstone, Ubshanti Bone, what's the Typhon Ash? There's one more. That you guys like that I almost never use. Not because I don't like it.
Not Xandri Dust?
Yeah, Xandri. No, Xandri Dust is a little darker.
It is
I think,
darker.
Right?
Yeah, so Typhon Ash.
They're all back here.
Yeah.
Now we need to know.
Terminus.
That's what it is. That's one. Terminus Stone. Maybe I don't have any of that one. Oh, Carrickstone is darker too.
Because you don't like it. Because they're so close. It's so many of. I mean, it's good. It's good. I just wish.
I'm not complaining.
More in some of these other brighter colors.
Yeah, I just wish there was a pink.
A pink. Yeah,
basically.
Frankly. Well, that's what I use mostly Vallejo pinks for.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Kind of weird. So anyway, after the Carrickstone, we're gonna go through with Typhon Ash. It's a little bit on the warm side, but I don't know. I like it.
I'm into it.
Oh, did you need this right now?
No.
There might be another Typhon Ash around.
There might. No, I'm actually debating what other sort of what airbrush I will need. The book I need to do. The flag I need to do. The flag's weird because, like, I don't normally have colors in this Night Haunt army. Like, I have green, I have black, I have brown, I have silver, I have copper.
Do you actually feel like you have to introduce a color here?
Well, what color should I do the banner? More black? Green? Green, black? Could be black going to, like, a green?
Yeah, there is a bit of that going on in this army.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think it should be?
Listen, I hate to suggest this.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't. That's it. That's what I would do.
Vallejo blue green?
I would. No, I always check and see. I've been checking these guys a lot. They have a deep red, like wine.
They have a deep red.
Merlot.
Merlot.
Listen, you should do Merlot. You should consider it because
you could go for Merlot.
Well, here's one thing I'll say about a lot of the armies in Sigmar.
Okay. Very curious where this is going.
We've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
And this army is one of them. Most of the death armies.
Yeah.
All of the death armies. Except for Bone Reapers.
Yeah.
Are seriously deluded people. Right? And they're seriously vain.
Yeah.
And they've 100%. Got some really deep-rooted trauma that they need to be working through.
Totally.
And so like the decadence, this is like what you read the story of these guys, right?
So this is the Craven Guard, and their story is...
Wait, actually, I've called them the Craven Guard a bunch, and then you have called them that?
Yeah.
That's not what they're actually called.
What are they called?
And I feel really bad about it. They're called Craventhrone Guard.
Oh, Craventhrone Guard, whatever.
I know.
Whatever.
Craven Guard
actually,
is like...
it's a tactical marine.
That's a intercessor.
Yeah, Craventhrone Guard. Yeah. So, anyways...
But look, better me than 15 comments.
Well, it's too late now.
No, chat would never do that to us.
Never.
Michael Cody would never do that.
Michael Cody in chat right now, famously.
That's why I said yes.
Yeah. They guard the Craven King, and by guard him I mean they troll him.
They troll
forever.
Forever.
And he's like a horrible person that has like stolen and killed, murdered people and all this horrible stuff.
Okay, hold on, sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Can we step back, like, who are the Night Haunt? Because this is a new faction.
Okay.
Lots of people are like,
Yeah.
and I didn't know anything about them. I've been reading up on them recently,
Yeah.
especially with the little book it came with.
Totally.
Lots of people know lots of people are connecting these old armies to fantasy.
Right.
But what is... These guys have no foot in fantasy.
No,
at
so
all.
they didn't exist in fantasy before at all. The Night Haunt are horrible people that for the most part, there's definitely some victims in here, I'll be honest, unfortunately. But they're largely like thieves and killers and no good people that are basically damned for eternity to perform something. It's usually related to sort of making up for what they've done in life. It's like ironic, based off of what they used to do, and that's kind of the messed up part. Like the dread sites and things like that were like healers, I think, and now they're forced to like just murder people. And that's kind of dark. But largely, it's people that are paying for something that they've done wrong, and so this is what Nagash has them do essentially. And funny enough, they were kind of introduced in Sigmar during the release of the Soul Wars, right? So you have Nagash, who is sort of tending the souls, definitely kind of maniacal, but still like doing his job. And Sigmar comes along and is like, oh, turns out I can remake these souls into like new people, and just none of them ever go to Nagash. In fact, sometimes we take them out of the underworld, and Nagash is like, that's messed up. That's not the way of the world. And so he throws a fit, and everyone gets upset, and everyone fights. But at the end of the day, Nagash is actually, he's the right one, technically.
Yeah, I mean, look. Nagash had a good thing going.
He did have a good thing
Sigmar
going.
came in.
It's his job, man.
Yeah.
He's just like, Sigmar's coming in and taking away jobs from the underworld.
I do love how the Sigmar world started off with this alliance between Death and Order.
Yeah, it's cool.
Actually, was Destruction part of it or no?
So there was at one point, I think everyone was teamed up against Chaos, because they had these different ages from old fantasy moving into Age of Sigmar, and the whole idea that it is an age, and we go through these different ages. And everyone's teamed up at one point or another, which I kind of love. It's very like ancient, like Greek mythology and stuff like that, where like these are human characters in a way.
Yeah.
And they've made and broke deals over the centuries.
But I'm not sure like Death or Order has ever been aligned with Chaos. I think only maybe Destruction, right?
No, yeah, Chaos is pretty much always. The
alliance, the double alliance of Death and Order is very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because the Death armies are very much like Order armies.
They are. So Night Haunt is 100% an Order army. It's about the way of the world.
Yeah.
You can do things, but you're going to have to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
In this life or the next. And Nagash is actually all about order and rules. In some ways more than Sigmar.
Yeah. So, in a lot of ways more than Sigmar. In a lot of ways.
Anyway, so the Craven King...
Nagash did nothing wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. The Craven King, of course, is one of these horrible people and is paying for this in life. And he does at least currently, he does fun things like he actually steals your opponent's command points and gives them to you. And the Craventhrone Guard are bound to protect him throughout life. And they're trolling him, as I mentioned. Anytime he's about to get any amount of glory, getting a kill, whatever, right before he gets the final blow and gets some like shimmer of past glory, they come in and they kill the thing first. They're like, oh, just kidding, headshot. And he's like, no!
We got him for you, boss. They're like chuckling, like ribbing each other. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
And so I love it. It is reminiscent of a lot of the humor in the death writing that we've seen in Age of Sigmar. So it's like very, very dark, but also kind of humorous, which I love.
Yeah. The only like not funny faction is what I'll be working on down the road is the Bone Reapers.
Yeah, they're not funny.
They're like
they're serious guys.
They're
lame.
No fun.
Lame.
No one wants to hang out with the Bone Reapers. Yeah, so these guys are super interesting. Reading up on the Nighthaunt, really cool. It is a really cool army to start if you're thinking about getting into Sigmar. It's a good time to start it with it getting a revamp, because it has been lagging on being able to hang in there. And not that that's not a good reason to start an army, like
sure,
but
it can have an impact when you're trying to play and just have a good time. I remember I had a couple games on stream where we're like, well, let's just try it. It'll be fun. And you're just like, oh man, this is tough.
I think the first game you and I played on stream together was my Beast Claw Raiders versus the Nighthaunt.
Oh my god! Yeah.
And my book is also not that new.
Sure.
It's just aged better.
It's
largely
aged better,
because of like monster stuff and.
Yeah, they kind of aged into it.
Yeah.
And before that, my previous experience was playing Nighthaunt on stream. Was when we were super clueless. We were warned by good Sigmar players, but we didn't listen. Was against Seraphon. And Brian was like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. And I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. And I just got destroyed.
Yeah.
So
Seraphon and Daughters are like two armies that have been terrorizing people for a very long time now.
The Daughters, certainly since they came out. I remember when that army first released, I have a friend of mine, Michael Scaletti, that was, top 8 at many events. So it was like Adepticon and then the finals and everything. And he was an old school fantasy player, but just kind of picked up these Daughters and just wrecked with them. Unfortunately, he was one of my practice partners at the time. So, yeah. Got to see that side of things. But they're a really cool army, and I'm really excited for them to get a new book.
Yeah, super cool. Lots of... one of my favorite things about Sigmar, I've brought this up on stream before, is I think 40K, especially with the Imperium, has this aesthetic from the Middle Ages.
Right.
Even though things are tend to be named after Roman things, but Sigmar has this really heavy antiquity aesthetic.
Yes.
Especially in the Order and, I want to say, Destruction armies.
Yep.
They have a serious antiquity aesthetic, which is beautiful. I love that. Minoan stuff, Roman, as late as Rome, as early as Syrian and Assyrian and
Babylonian stuff.
Yeah, all of that
Especially
stuff.
with like Kragnos and things.
Yeah.
We're really kind of getting into that motif.
The Stormcast with like the metal face mask.
Yep.
And the Daughters have a serious like Roman cult vibe going on.
Yeah,
they
do.
It's a very Roman cult vibe.
Oh my god.
Which I'm really into. I love me a good. You guys know I love a good MLM and a good cult. And throw in one from ancient Rome, which I also love learning about, and you've got like an army I'm into. These could have been the race doesn't matter. These could have been dwarves. They could have been humans, elves. Yeah. The gender doesn't matter. The fact that they're all women, don't care. I'm just into the fact that they're like this ancient Roman cult. Kind of like in their design aesthetic.
Where's the airbrush little holster thing that I like?
Oh, right there.
Nice. I'm blind. Cool. Well, we do have a super chatter too. I want to grab that before it disappears. Any moment now.
I'm gonna get going on. We might have to open up the Discord.
I think we do have to open the Discord.
Bloop, bloop. Thanks, Bridger. It's already open. Yay.
Yay, Discord.
And then you know where to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know. Well, hobby, thank you.
Hobby, thank you. Oh, see?
Yeah. Hobby, thank you. There it is.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Willow. Good eve, Hobby Titans. After waiting for months, my Artis Opus Series S brushes arrived and I've been pretty blown away. Shoutouts to Kat for the recommendation.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, she'll be on next week. Her and I are going to do some cool stuff next week. She'll be happy to hear that.
That's really cool.
I'll let her know. And if you're around and you have questions, Willow, let us know. Or tag her in the Discord, of course. She's in there. Yeah, that's awesome. I actually have not used these brushes yet. I've been like a lot of people on just like an eternal never always learning. Just kidding. Always learning.
Never learning
about brushes. And I have, I have to say my Winsor Newton that I picked up, I've gone through a lot of different stages with it. I'm kind of settling down on I do love it a lot.
Right.
For whatever reason, I frequently don't reach for it unless I'm doing something I'm a little, this is going to be like, I just need to trace right along the line. Mm-hmm. On the Doomfire Warlocks, I used it on the trim on the horses, which is sort of thick.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I've mostly been just like I've mostly just been using these Games Workshop, the Citadel synthetics. They're kind of just like my workhorses.
Yeah, you've been loving those, huh?
9 out of 10 times, you don't need the most precision from your brush.
Right.
You need a little bit of, you need some precision. You don't want like a hair sticking out all over the place, and you know what I mean.
No, you don't need as much as you think, at least.
Right. So they're workhorses in that they stay together. I can kind of predict the point. I can reform the point, and you know, I don't know. Like here, what I'm doing now. I'm painting the whip. Right.
Right.
I don't like. What do I need? What do I need a Winsor Newton here for this for? You know what I mean?
You don't.
So mostly these work for me, but it is important to have good brushes, and good brushes and a wet palette like make you want to do brush work. If you have bad tools, I don't know. This is anything in life, right? If you have bad tools, like you don't want to. I don't know. That's how I am. If I have a bad tool, I usually don't want to do it.
Yeah,
do the thing.
I totally agree. And honestly, this is something that for me comes up a lot when we talk about getting started in airbrushing. I did it the wrong way. I tried to save too much money and cut too many corners, and it made it way harder than it needed to be. And it was already challenging enough trying a new tool, new method, and things like that. You know, I didn't do air paint. I didn't buy the proper cleaning materials, all these things. Just doing it right makes it so much easier. So it's important, and you know, take good care of your tools. Make sure you wash and clean them thoroughly, and they'll last you. It is one of those things that has, you know, the more I do it, the more I find it to be true. So yeah,
yeah. World of difference. I'm trying to give another example. Let's give a non-painting example.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a cookware recommendation, which is that I used to go through, like Megan will tell you. One of my favorite things to eat is like 2 over easy / medium eggs.
Okay.
And man, if you do not have the right pan to make over easy eggs, you get angry. I would used to just like be so angry making breakfast in the morning. And then I got this pan called, it's on Instagram. It's like, oh, this is Instagram.
Wait, which one is it?
It's the Our Place.
Oh, okay,
one.
no, I don't know that one.
It comes in a lot of nice colors. I got the red one. I love it. It's amazing. Oh, it's non-stick, but with no chemicals, because I'm a spaz about like eating plastic and chemicals.
Yeah, you are.
Near my food. Like, I already am around so much paint. I'm just like, you know what?
You're already screwed.
I'm like, let's just see where we can recoup these losses. I
love it.
So I like that thing. I can just like cook up 2 fried eggs, super easy, really easy. Like totally changes your day when you start off with 2 eggs the way you want them,
right?
As opposed to like a pseudo egg scramble.
That's a good metaphor. I like it. Yeah. Everything turns into scrambled eggs. You're just like, well, that's what I meant to do.
Cool. Yeah, I guess I'm having scrambled eggs again.
Yeah, we actually I know we're getting off topic, but we also recently got a nice pan with what we thought we were finally ready to be adults about it.
Yeah.
Ours is yellow though. It's like a nice.
Does it have like Teflon or anything like that in it?
No.
It's non-stick.
It's non-stick.
Okay,
it's like a.
But no chemicals.
I don't think so. I don't know. Mel's in chat. It's like it is like also an Instagram thing.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Everything on Instagram is trustworthy.
There's no reason to like get a non-stick pan and like have it have the weird chemicals. Sorry, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna be like I'm not gonna like sell like try this up, but just like I don't know. It's just
I already
weird.
bought
Like,
the pan, Zach.
do you really want like no? You're fine. I'm just saying like I'm sure like if you got one that's being advertised, it's probably like that.
Yeah, I'm sure. If people advertise it, it must be good.
Yeah, if people advertised it, it's probably safe for you.
Yeah, that's how this works. Thank you, Sable Flag. Hey, Titans, just finished my first full unit. Hey, congrats.
Oh, awesome.
I'm starting with Admic, and I chose 10 Skitarii Rangers with my first models to paint. Thanks for keeping me company while I paint.
That's like upper medium hard level.
Yeah, that is not the easiest
I don't know the
thing to start
sub-assemblies on those. I've never painted an Admec model.
They're tough, actually. I'd be curious, Sable Flag, if you did sub-assembly them, because that's one that I certainly didn't the first time I painted them.
They have a lot of like metal on the interior. There was like skeletons, right? It's like a lot of metal and then cloth over.
Yeah, and the cloth, in fact, the way that it's traditionally painted is actually 2-tone too. The inside and the outside are different tones, which I didn't do for this kind of exact reason.
It being a huge pain in the butt.
It's just a pain in the butt. So it's not an easy one to start with. So that's an accomplishment. It will teach you a lot, though. You will learn a lot, right? Because you have so many different materials, like you said.
Metal, cloth, whatever else.
Very multi-dimensional.
I got to say, I'm glad Rangers are good. Since they have been released, I remember this was the first army that I know a lot of people who've been playing for a while will recall when Tau were released. I think that's 2001.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then before that was Necrons, like 96 or something.
Mm-hmm,
those two are both way before my time of playing these games. Weirdly, in 96, I actually might have been a high school kid playing fantasy a little bit. But anyway, I wasn't following. The internet wasn't as much of a thing. I wasn't following it.
Yeah.
Anyway, AdMech came out, I think, in 2009 or
no,
10.
It came out in...
I'll tell you, I started replaying in 2008.
Yeah.
And I know that they were not a thing then.
Yeah, it came out at least in 2010.
Okay, I think it is 2010 because 2011 was like a big revitalization of the Necrons.
The Necrons? What?
Yeah, the Necrons had like a big...
What did they get?
So they got almost all of their plastic line. At that point, the destroyers up until then were still metal, and they also got more character as far as their background goes. Up until then, they were like,
oh, this was the Blood Angels incident.
That happened. The Necrons just got like a big like shift in their direction, and like I think maybe the Necron and the Drukhari release that happened in 2010, and then the Necrons in 2011. I think those might have been the two largest model releases I've ever seen.
What?
The Tau release in 2013 was also really big.
Yeah.
But like they really blew these lines up.
So the AdMech were like that?
Yeah, they were the first army that was like a new army.
Yeah.
Since I've been playing.
Big deal.
We have a local friend in the area, Michael Dunsmore, that we've mentioned before. He's a game designer, and Michael is a super cool guy. He's had like a Forge World version of the army because you could kind of do it through Forge World for a little bit.
There was just Horse Heresy.
And they had like the little guys who almost look like the scuba tank helmet guys, like.
Yeah. The robot guys, the Thalax.
Yeah.
For 30K, yeah.
Well, no, there's the Thalax, but then there's a little troop guy too, and he looks like he has like the old like tiny.
Yeah, well, those came out after because those were supports for the existing Skitarii.
Okay.
So they didn't exist, like the Peltasts and stuff.
I have no idea.
And there's the gun guys. There's 2 units.
Okay.
The hop. I literally call like Hoplite Skitarii.
Yeah.
And then the Hoplite Peltast or something.
Okay.
And those are both. Those are actually expansion kits off of the plastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm so happy that you painted up a unit. That's so cool. Like getting into the hobby, really exciting.
Heck yeah, it's exciting.
Love hearing from a new fan. Always fun.
Absolutely.
It's good to hear that people are still doing this thing that you do.
Right.
When you're almost 40.
Yeah.
Cool.
People are starting off.
What was this? What was this user's name?
Sable Flag.
Sable Flag. Sable Flag could be 75 years old. I don't know Sable Flag.
Hey, that's cool, man.
But that's also cool, right? Like, I kind of wanted to be like, it's cool that younger people are like getting into it. Sable Flag could be like.
I just think it's cool that new people are getting into it, regardless.
Yeah.
I'm just painting brown. So I
love the transition.
I'm just painting brown.
I'm just painting brown.
So I waited on the flag. I feel like I do this every time I come on the channel. I'm like, oh, I don't have this paint. Do you have this paint? I need to think about the flag a little bit, honestly, because so that color.
Merlot.
Well, not that color, but the material assigned that color, right, is on my Nighthaunt actually white because it is the same color that they use for the band. There's like an extra band around their hoods on the Grimghast Reapers.
Okay.
And for me, I believe I did it as a white. I'll double check and go grab those models. And I don't know that I want to have a white flag here, frankly. It's a little, I mean, they are the Craven Guard, but.
Oh, I see. In a way, that's like almost perfect.
It's perfect. Anyway, so I'm just going to kind of push that decision further back. So, hey, Sable Flag just turned 31.
Oh, okay.
So I'll leave that up to you if you want to say if that's younger or older than you.
It's younger than me.
I mean, you're only like 23, so.
Yeah.
You're not that old that I can actually make those kinds of jokes.
Yeah, it's not really like, it's not
that makes you sound way older.
Yeah, like I'm like, yeah.
You're like, turning 21, here's my 50th birthday again. You're like, okay, Grandma.
Oh my God.
Not a true story.
Not a true story. Not a true.
Let's move on. Should we do the super chat?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Zach. Good wah, Titans. Recently had the conversation with my wife and will be transitioning to full-time painting over this year. That's so exciting.
That's awesome.
Thank you for all the entertainment you provide during long paint sessions. Oh, thank you, Zach.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome member of this community.
Yeah.
You give us life.
You know, there's been so many members that we've seen work from. I know I've seen work of Zach's.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't recall it at the moment.
Zach has a lot of amazing work, amazing salamanders.
Salamanders, okay.
Well, a lot of amazing work, frankly. He's painted a lot of stuff. And I know things about his professional development, which I won't say because I don't know where you want to like announce things, Zach. So anyways, super excited for you. I think you have a very bright future in front of you as a painter. And I'm super excited for you. I'll leave it at that and say congratulations.
Yeah, really fun. I've gone, you know, since I've been here, I've been doing a ton of painting.
Yeah,
I always
you are a professional.
I always did paint. I don't know. It was really the only thing I always blab about not playing video games, and that was the reason. I was like, I don't know, I'd rather just paint.
That's interesting. Yeah,
you can't do both of those at the same time.
No,
and then, which is like kind of jokingly, I always joke about like not reading books.
Yeah.
And like I have nothing against books or reading. Like obviously it's good to read.
You're a fan of literacy.
I'm a fan of literacy.
Yeah.
I just can't often read books because I'm usually painting up into the point where I like move over to my bed and fall asleep.
Yeah. Same here.
So I don't really. That's why I kind of don't.
And I have the same relationship with video games now, mostly digital games. Like frankly, I'd rather be painting most of the time, and also. Guess what else I can be doing while I'm painting?
Watching TV and interacting with your wife?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
like kind of pushes it over the edge. Like if Mel and I can both play a game, sure, it's great. But the other one like also serves as like relaxation, and games are like not always the most relaxing.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, yeah. Like I think I've told this story before, but I did start playing Doom. Like I was like going back and playing some original Xbox games because I really had an original Xbox.
Okay.
And so I bought some original Xbox games, and I had like Doom 3. And
yes.
Oh my god, the first time I played it, like we turned all the lights out, I was like,
I was
having like anxiety issues. I was like,
dude.
You know, I think it's just because I haven't played video games in a while in general. Like this game might not have been the best to like do that with.
No.
I mean, it was kind of cool. It was fun. Like,
yeah.
But
God.
it's like
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was. I was like, Meg, I don't know that I could do this. Like,
it's a lot. You should play Insomnia.
Is it a
Descent.
horror?
It's a horror game.
Yeah, I think those are probably be like up there among my favorites.
Yeah, it's so you can't fight in it. There's no fighting. You need to. It's like puzzle solving, and you're in this like spooky house, and you're like finding out what's going on. But one of your main mechanics is like your sanity, and you're like your like heart or whatever.
Yeah.
And as you need to like get sort of recoup in like areas where there's like light, which like physically has a game mechanic, like actually that's enacted in the game, but it also helps you personally because you're kind of like safer in the light. And as you kind of see scary things or whatever, your character starts to freak out, and you're like freaking out real life because it's very environmental.
Oh, I love that.
And it's so spooky, but as the more you kind of lose your mind in the game, your character actually you move slower. And it's harder to control where you're looking, and you're starting to like sway a little bit, and it makes it that much more terrifying as you have like some sound coming behind you, and you can't even take the time to move to turn around because that's going to cost time. And
that's
you need to
so
move.
Cool.
And it's just like it's terrifying and it's horrible and great.
I love that. I love Amnesia.
Amnesia.
Says. Yeah, I might like that a lot.
Insomnia. Thank you,
I would like that a lot.
It's I can only handle a little bit at a time.
Yeah, that's fun.
Amnesia: The Dark Descent. That's what it is.
Okay, interesting.
Check it out. That'll be a good time. Ideally, if you can film yourself while playing this, that would be ideal.
Film myself.
I'll tell Meg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be funny. All right, let me show where I'm at with her.
Let's see what's going on.
Because I did a bunch of steps. So I kind of just went ahead and did a lot of work on the whip. So with her now, I've picked up this new technique. I have started using the contrast paints more. One of my favorite things for contrast paint is the way they pick up detail on skin.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how she looks now. Let me turn this down, see if that actually, I don't know.
Oh, that is kind of nicer.
Yeah. So this is how she looks now. Now, I did airbrush this on, and the paint color I chose was Skeleton Horde contrast, and I airbrushed it on after. Here, I'll show you guys a recap of how I did this skin.
Totally.
Boom, 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 just like that. All airbrushed so far. Now, the next thing I'm going to do to finish this skin, and also in doing so kind of get started on her hair, is I'm going to airbrush my new Love and Life Titanium White, aka ink.
Oh, here we go.
So, believe it or not, this is a color that I've just been using on almost everything I've been painting recently. Since I like lighter colored models, brighter colored models, this just does that. It doesn't really turn a model white, it just lightens the model up.
It also doesn't turn them titanium. It's not a metal.
It's not a metal. You were asking, like, oh, you're just gonna... I was like, yeah, I've been using it on everything, just spraying everything down a little bit.
I was like, you're using metallic white on every model?
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
I have some questions.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's see. I think this lighting might actually be okay for me.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see anywhere I put it here, off to the side, it's just really lightening that area up. So I do go fairly Zenithal on this. And if you skip the contrast step, actually the woman I have on the glam cam over there, I'll see if I can show you guys a little later on the top down. I forgot to contrast paint her her upper back.
Oh, interesting.
Which is where her skin is showing. And you can kind of see it just doesn't look as warm and as like alive there. It almost looks like she's like undead. Like that's how you paint a vampire.
Yeah. I'm glad you made that mistake because it really, really does show that extra step makes a difference, which is always a question I think you should be asking yourself. Extra step actually add to the model, or am I just imagining?
Am I being a psycho?
Yeah.
And, yeah, and I on her here today, I nixed the step, and I can already tell it was a wasted step. And that step I nixed was in between these two right here, the cacophony and the Typhon Ash. I was spraying airbrush Magos contrast Magos purple to get into the recesses. Then I would spray the Typhon Ash, and then I did this to get into the recesses again. And I was like, you know what? I probably don't need two colors in the recesses.
Right.
So
makes sense.
Yeah.
So there you
so
go.
saving myself a.
Just always be critical.
Always be
Be nice, but be critical to yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So.
You got a nice hair going on there.
Yeah. Oh, my hair, not hers. Okay.
Sorry.
I was like, thank
right.
you. Oh.
Thank you.
Okay. So her hair. Let's talk about her. And this is actually one of the weirder models to show the hair on, because she has some of the least amount of hair of any Daughters of Khaine model.
Much more managed.
Yeah. So what I did on her hair, the model is now pretty much airbrushed, ready for brushwork. And I want to actually go a little bit lighter, the head and the face. Oh, and I need to get the arm. This is what I was talking about. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I feel your pain.
Yeah, it's not the best. Like I don't like when like something like a smooth transition, like skin.
Yeah.
Is a sub-assembly?
Well, unfortunately, that's this entire other model that I have here. He's got 3 arms, book on arm, on lantern, and it's a pain. I can get away with it a bit nicer, again, because my guy is like a dead zombie spirit guy.
Yeah.
But you have like this smooth flesh that's going to be much less forgiving.
Yeah, so I think that the nice thing is I don't actually really have to connect it. I just have to get it kind of close.
Right.
So there we go.
You just have to get it kind of close.
Yeah,
it's a tan line.
It doesn't actually have to be totally connected, and I just have to kind of check and see how it's shaping. Okay, that'll be good.
Ooh, that camera's not like in your focus. There you go.
There we go. I'm like a little bit over. I need to move up my head again. Oh. Okay.
What's going on?
Okay. All right. Getting a little more cozy here with Adrian.
I feel like you should have the front cam on for this.
Yeah. No, I'm glad. Certainly glad we did not. Okay. So there we go. Now, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to keep the no, I'm not going to do that. I was going to say I'm going to keep the titanium in my airbrush and do this next step, but no, I'm not going to do
You knew immediately that was a bad idea.
I know. That's how you get clogs. Oh, no, I just spilled a bunch.
Zach, take a breath. It's going to be okay.
I know.
Typhon Ash.
I actually went over to Game Castle to get some paints the other day, and they were out of this, so then I went on Amazon and ordered.
A million.
No, every place had like 1 or 2 in stock.
Oh, interesting. Probably because of you.
I only had this one so far.
Stealing from future Zach again.
Oh yeah, there's a Zach from the future. You're saying ordering all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Ben says titanium white's called that because it uses titanium in its pigment, titanium dioxide.
Oh, interesting.
Is that true?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I have no reason not to believe Ben. That doesn't seem like a funny joke.
It sounds cool.
If Ben thinks that that's a joke, then Ben doesn't know us very well. Because Ben, we don't know anything about chemistry.
That's fair. Yeah.
Maybe Ben's a chemist and he's like, yeah, guys, it's got titanium dioxide in it. Like wouldn't that be funny? And we're like, yeah, I guess.
Like, oh. Like if it was a car, we would definitely know.
Would we?
Yeah, we know car stuff. People are always asking us for car advice.
No. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You guys have any car questions, just super chat that.
Yeah, if it was a car.
We'll get you sorted right out.
Yeah, like stuff with cars is always good.
You're doing great. I lost a Craventhrone Guard.
Oh, that's not good. Maybe he ran away.
Maybe he ran away. He was scared. Here he is.
Okay.
I brought the rest of my night haunt from home. I had a bunch like on a back shelf. So preparing. I'm excited. I was excited that I had painted all the brown, and then that wasn't all of them. That's the worst. Actually, no. The worst is like when you have one guy that you just totally like dropped under the couch and you like didn't even prime it. So you have to go through all the steps for one model.
All right, now Cody and Ben are both saying it's not a joke. All right, guys. All right.
I mean, it sounded pretty funny to me.
Yeah. No, we know.
It just sounds weird to me that the titanium in a paint.
Yeah.
I'm not skeptical. I just genuinely don't know. So.
I recently read an article where they think that the Earth's first mass extinction event, not the dinosaur one.
Well, yeah.
The first one was caused because nickel aerosoled from a volcanic explosion.
Yeah.
And got into like the water and the air and was responsible. So I didn't know nickel could aerosol. Aerize? Not aerosol.
Aerosolize?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
well, they weren't actual nickels, you understand?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, of course. Like
I didn't know you could turn money into air.
I didn't know nickels could do that.
Now look, Ben's joke, which wasn't a joke, was still funnier than that joke.
Yeah, Ben. Ben just standing me up on jokes.
No, my joke. Wait, was yours a joke? What's happening?
What is happening?
You
always hit that stage in a Adrian and Zach Hobby Titan show where we have to ask ourselves, what is happening?
Are we the joke?
Yeah, that's the joke. The joke is that we are the joke. Like I have to say, unfortunately, it's very funny. I was checking her arm and how it matched with the shoulder, and if I did a good enough job. And I think I did with the white, but what I didn't is with the contrast. And so I actually went back with the contrast over the white, and it looks pretty much perfect.
That's awesome.
A cool thing to suddenly learn is that I can carefully add the contrast back in over the white.
That is good to know, because
I mean,
you just want to be able to fix mistakes and go back.
Yep.
I see Melody totally understands my problem, so there you go.
Yeah.
Dioxide like Demikron. Oh yeah, there we go.
Okay, actually, one second, hold on, keep this view.
Okay.
I can fix her now, too.
Whoa, what is he doing? Oh my,
so
no.
I'll see if people can, I'll see if you guys can tell. Excuse me, normally I mute myself before I do that. Okay, down here, like you can see it is more warm on her back, but up here on her upper back, it's like cool colored.
Right.
I think you can see that in the camera pretty well.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
It's big. So like more alive down here, kind of cool up here. And now I know I can go in here super carefully with the Sotar and warm her back up on her upper back so she doesn't look like she's dying. Just a little bit. There we go. And that's going to do it. Cool.
I love it.
Every now and then, you got to go back.
You did it.
But you can see there's like a big difference with the contrast there versus not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like kind of going down the vampire route without it. But just the addition of the brown, the little bit of brown, like added a lot.
Hey, look, I'm not opposed. Oh, all right. Look, Zach.
Me, Zach?
Yeah, okay. I think we're working on your lady, but we also have my dude.
We do.
And he's a big old nerd.
He's a big nerd. We were talking about some themes for today's top 5.
We did, yes.
And we were thinking top 5 things you don't want to go into the gladiator pit against, because this lady I'm painting is a gladiatrix. She's the High Gladiatrix. She's the top gladiator in a city.
Yeah.
In one of the Marathi enclaves. And we said, your guy, by contrast, is going to battle with a book.
Yeah, who does that?
Who does that?
Turns out a lot of people.
Yeah, it turns out there's a lot of nerds. So we want to do top 5 nerds.
That's right.
That GW has ever put out as models. You ready?
I'm into it. Do you want to go first?
I can go first. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so top 5 nerds.
This is Zach's top 5 nerds in Warhammer.
Top 5 Warhammer nerds. So first nerd is Croak. Okay, anytime, like, I almost want to bring up the Soul Mason again because he's got his chair.
Yeah, he is a total nerd.
He's a nerd, but like Croak is, first of all, this is an incredible model, but he's got his chair. He's got his buddies there helping him out. Like he's just, it looks like he's like settling in, honestly, for like to play like GoldenEye with his friends.
GoldenEye with his friends.
Hey guys, want to come over and play GoldenEye? My mom's gonna make Totino's pizza rolls.
That sounds amazing.
Right.
I want to hang out. I want to go there.
So he's like peak nerd from. I don't actually even know that Croak reads.
Like, does he have eyes?
I
don't think he reads. I think he just knows.
Yeah.
You know, like he is books.
Yeah, but he's a nerd, and he conducts himself such as one in game. He's a nerd.
I think he's the quintessential nerd. Like he doesn't really fight. He just kind of is super academic about these things.
Yeah.
So I think. What do you think? Gets the seal of approval.
He gets the nerd seal of approval.
Hey, he does.
Thanks, nerd. Yeah, there it is. Perfect.
You got it.
All right, next nerd.
All right, let's take a look at your next nerd. So we've seen Croak. But let's see what's next. Which one is it?
That one, yeah.
This one.
No, up one more.
This one.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yo, nerd
okay,
two.
now, it was actually funny. What I mean this nerd to be is all Tau. All Tau are nerds.
Yeah.
The best Tau picture was this Crisis suit, but in this list, I just wanted to say all Tau are nerds.
All Tau.
Look, I play Tau.
It's not bad. We're gonna look. When we say nerd, this is not an insult.
It's
just a fact.
Well, yeah.
I'm a nerd.
It's not an insult. I'm just kidding.
I don't want to break this to you, Zach, but you're a nerd.
I am a nerd. It's not an insult, but as we were discussing, we do love the interplay in 40K, but especially in Sigmar, of bullies versus nerds.
Yeah.
And nothing is more satisfying than crashing like 2 Beast Claw Raiders into like a nerd.
Oh, they're such jerks. They're just bullies, man. It's not okay. You can't swirly people like that.
Every 40K player loves getting a good assault off on the Tau. Like that's
true.
Yes, I got the Tau in close combat. Yeah.
So much toxic culture in Warhammer.
There's a lot of like nerd bashing culture. Like everyone, the Tau are huge nerds.
Yeah.
Like everything that they have is nothing's named after like any kind of art or cool like history. It's all like it's like the size of the it's like the mass and the weight and like even oh my gosh, even like Germans like add a word or two after the cars they make. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have some pretend. Well, you know, they like fish stuff. You know, they're like really into specific like species of fish and marine, which is also kind of weird.
Sorry, are we talking about Tau or Germans?
Tau.
No, they don't. That's what the Imperial calls those things. The Tau would be like if you took a Tau and showed them the animals that they're naming their things after, they'd be like, "What is that thing?" They'd be like, "That's not how they name them. That's how the Imperial."
Zach, I think you sound like a nerd.
Thanks, nerd. I deserved it.
Yeah, you totally deserved it.
Nerd. Oh, next nerd.
Well, I'm not cutting off. I'm just saying.
No, that's
like,
it.
Actually, this is not the Tau name for them.
It's true. That's right. Tau. I'm a Tau player. It's nerds.
You are, and I appreciate that about you. All right. So who's next?
Next nerd is Ahriman.
Talk about bringing books to the battlefield.
Yeah, Ahriman, big nerd. Totally. I love Ahriman. He's
great.
He's one of my favorite nerds. He in the Thousand Suns book. It's called. Is it 1,000 Suns or is it Prospero Birds?
Take it back. You're not a nerd.
1,000 Suns.
You don't even know the name of the book.
Yeah, it's 1,000 Suns. He's so cool. I love that book. I love that book because they set up this relationship between Magnus and Ahriman, and then the human that is working with Ahriman. And what's very interesting about the human that is working with Ahriman is he is not. I forget his name. He's like the main character. He's not like big and muscular, like preparing to be a space marine, but they want him to become a space marine. They want him to go through the process of becoming 1,000 Sun because he's smart.
Yeah.
And like the 1,000 Suns, like the relationship I love the relationship they build. I think Melanie was in chat or is in chat. Like Melanie and I will chat about academia, and it's a nice relationship because like it's less hierarchical. Well, it's very hierarchical in a lot of ways.
Yes.
But like you interact with your lower hierarchical.
Yeah, exactly. And that's built into like systematically, right? It's
right. And like they're like kind of just like sitting around and like chilling.
Yeah.
And like chatting about things, like, and Magnus like just hangs out with his leadership.
Yeah.
Whereas like a lot of the other Primarchs are like almost like mythological figures among even their own chapters.
Exactly.
But Magnus, who is of anyone the most mythological figure,
yeah, right,
like literally looks like something from some kind of mythological like background. Magnus just like chills, and it talks about like it describes the outfits they're wearing at one point, and they're just like in comfortable like robes, just like sitting around, like chatting. Like I love that as Space Marines compared to like some of the crazier training some of the other factions go through.
Well, think about their counterpart, the Space Wolves, right?
The Space Wolves,
like, oh, you guys are just nuts and get drunk all the time.
Right, but actually, what is so interesting about that combination, and I think one of the things that makes their dichotomy so compelling, is that in some ways they are, I mean, they probably would get along better than almost any other chapter. Because if academics aren't sitting around discussing academia, they're getting drunk. and if wild barbarian men aren't getting drunk, they're sitting on the stars discussing the meaning of the universe. Like, and then
Larry, that got Mel to show up.
Yeah, right. So like, I think that they actually really like connect to each other, and they both have this like independent spirit thing as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's like part of what makes it so compelling of a dichotomy is that they're actually very similar. Just one is a nerd.
Wow.
One chapter is full of nerds.
It's full of nerds.
And the other is full of bullies.
I love this like idea of like these like academics as like nerds in 40K, and like where does that kind of interact with the warrior? And they're cool because they are really this intersection. We talked about Croak. He doesn't really fight. The Tau, they really don't fight. They don't fight. It's all about their technology. Like everyone's like, oh well, why? I've heard arguments, especially before the new Tau book, of like, oh well, you know, they should be able to hit better because they have all this training and all this blah 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 and things like that. It's like, yes, from a rules perspective, I understand it, but from a lore perspective, it's not so much like I guess it's one way or the other. But the point being that it's about the technology and it's about their scientific advancements. It's not that they're the most like skilled pilots. They're good pilots, but it's about the technology that they developed. So they're also, it's interesting where that emphasis is.
They're also crafty. Like they'll set up these plans and they'll come in off the side of the board and surprise you. But like when they're get there, they're not fighters. They're problem solvers.
That's like the necessity at the end of as part of their plan.
I think that they approach a battle as like, this is a problem that now needs to be solved. Not like, oh, I'm going to best you in close combat with my axe that got given to me by this guy, and meanwhile I have a flag on my back and it says "you suck." Like they don't do that, right? Anyway, Armand, big nerd.
Yeah,
thanks, nerd.
Okay, moving on. Never gets old. Moving on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Actually, who is
you
next?
You don't know your next one? It is.
Cryptex.
All Cryptex.
All
right?
Cryptex are nerds. Yeah. There's not a lot to say here. Cryptex are the oldest of all nerds, the most ancient in the 40K world, anyway. You were talking about the Cryptek who's like trying to do experiments.
Luminor Xeris is always just like, oh, hey guys, I know you're trying to do a battle, but let me do my experiments on you. And they're like, what? Get off of me.
Yeah, you know? There's like the collector guy. He's like pretty much like, oh, did you guys have Superman #1? Has anyone got Superman 1?
Yeah.
You know, if you, what is his name?
I think it's Trazen.
The Infinite?
Yeah, I think so.
You know,
he's so great.
You know that if you went in there into his like collection, he's got all this crazy stuff. Some of the stuff he has is so. What's the super cool thing he has?
He has a Black Lotus. Original Magic card. It's crazy.
You know, okay. Yes, that joke is better than mine of Superman 1. But yours is better. But he has something cool. Like, doesn't he have?
I actually don't know.
He has like somebody in chat's gonna know. It has something to do with a Primarch. He has some really important war gear of a Primarch.
Oh, really?
I forget.
It's like he has the Imperial Fist.
Yeah, he has something. He has something crazy.
His Dorn's right hand.
Crazy, like big. You're like, whoa, that's so cool. Of all people in the
that's cool
in the background who have that.
It's funny you should mention Superman because he totally reminds me of. There's a character in Superman. Yeah, I know we're getting distracted. Well, there's a Marvel character, but then there's also this other guy that also like collects people, and he collects Superman at one point.
Wait, I'm sorry. What's the difference between Marvel and Superman? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just
it's like the same character. But yeah, anyways, yeah. I know what you're supposed to say. It's not the same character, but it's like the same character. But the one in...
Wait, you mean...
The one that collects Superman, he's like an egg man, like a floating egg weird dude.
Yeah.
And you remember the cartoon episode about it. And he collects Superman and Bizarro in the same place.
When you say the cartoon episode, are you talking... Is it Simpsons? Isn't there like a...
Well, there might be a Simpsons.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going back into the 90s real quick, guys, and early 2000s. So you know Batman, the animated series?
You know,
critically acclaimed cartoon series.
A little bit. I was getting kind of old when it came out.
That's fair.
And I know that it's like
I was getting.
I know that it's where like Harley Quinn came from. I know that it's like a thing.
Yeah.
And that people loved it.
And they loved it.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they made a better version called Batman and Superman Adventures, where it was like some episodes were Superman, some were Batman. You go back and forth between like Metropolis and Gotham. Sometimes it was like together. Mm-hmm. Anyways, there's a collector in that.
Okay.
You know what?
Yeah.
Thanks, nerd.
All three of us. All three of us.
I kind of walked into that one.
All three of us deserve that, John. That's good, fair call, John. Okay, last but not least, maybe 40K's top nerd. He's vying for it with Ahriman, I think.
Yeah.
And Magnus as well is Eldrad. Look, Eldrad is king of actually.
Actually?
Because he's a Farseer. So we know, okay, John says perfect clone of Fulgrim.
That's
amazing.
I thought
it was something about, I knew it was something related to a Primarch. I actually thought it was that like he had one of the Primarchs, or there's a rumor that he actually has one of the Primarchs. Yeah.
I like all these other suggestions too. Okay, yeah, so Graham had mentioned clone of Fulgrim, Belgo. Actually, John was like the last person.
Okay.
A high fleet.
He casually has a high fleet.
He has a balanced competitive 40K meta. That's pretty crazy. I like this. Ferris Man is his head. Guys, please, we would like more things that he owns. Let us know in chat. What are other things that Trazen has?
Yeah, that they need
This is like memes for the meme god right now. But anyways, back to Eldrad.
Eldrad, super big nerd. He's king of actually as a Farseer, because you're like, oh man, the Necrons are gonna land on this planet and wipe that out. And he's like, actually, they're not.
Actually, it's their spaceship that crash lands and destroys the planet.
Yeah, actually.
The worst part about it is he's right. He's always right.
Yeah, actually, those aren't that type of destroyer. These aren't like the Ophidian destroyers. They're different. He gets you he does a normal actually. You have to imagine, but he also can do it in the future.
In the future,
so you're like, oh man. We're about to get swarmed. There's a lot of Tyranid warriors. Actually, those aren't warriors. They're shrikes because they have wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not very common, but yeah, they're going to be shrikes, not warriors.
They're going to be shrikes, not warriors. He's got 2 wound chaos base brains. He has the correct pronunciation of beleaguered. I did look up this word. I still don't believe you guys. The Infinity Gauntlet.
You believe them, you just don't like it.
I don't like it. I like this word way less, knowing how you're technically supposed to say it.
Yeah, it's less compelling.
Yeah, and a 1973 Ford Mustang. You know what I say?
Thanks, nerd.
Thanks, nerd.
Yeah.
I'm in love with it. I'm so sorry, John.
Yeah, those are my nerds. How about your nerds?
Let's take a look at what I got. Nerds. Okay, so number 1 is the Tally Man from the Death Guard. This guy just like shows up to a battlefield and he's just like won't let people fight. He's so obsessed with accounting and counting things. And you know what? That's his thing. I let him enjoy it. That's the mark of a good nerd.
That is like a major theme of the nerds, is like when everyone else is trying to do the thing they're supposed to be doing, the nerds are like, hey, how many Space Marines did you just kill?
Yeah,
dude, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like nudging him. Hey, Thomas, how many did Matt just kill? Hey.
Okay, how's he doing?
Yeah. Okay, was it a kill or did that guy go down? Did we see him die? Because I need to know what to put in my book. And they're like, stop!
We just need to fight. You're defeating the whole purpose.
Stop! They got Blade Guard. There's Blade Guard coming at us. And he's like, yeah, how many actually?
While you're at it.
Unit of 3 or unit of 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. God, why is he counting out loud?
Yeah, these are very low numbers. You can usually just look and see.
Well, this guy's actually nuts because he counts like everything. Like he's literally counting like the number of boils on Marines and the number of he's looking for patterns and everything. And obviously he's looking for 7s, 21s, all these different 14. I'll just keep naming multiples of 7. But
does he like 49?
He's looking for them everywhere. He's like the ultimate numerologist.
Yeah. That's a nerd.
Yeah, he's a nerd. Yeah, that's a nerd.
Thanks, nerd. Thanks, nerd, for your service. Yeah.
We appreciate it.
We appreciate Tally, man.
All right, next up on my list, top 5 GW nerds. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, speaking of grad students, this is the gentleman formerly known as Daedalosus, now known as a techno-archaeologist. Now, this guy, again, shows up to the battlefield wanting to do his archaeology on technology and research what's going on. But he's definitely a grad student because not only is he interested in technology, he's interested in like the most specific and unapplicable subset of technology you can think of, which is servitors, Craventhrone servitors, which nobody wants. They're not good. You can't play them. They don't have core anymore. He's like, guys, I'll show up. I'll make them do cool stuff. Like my thesis is on servitors can do actions, and you're like, well, but they still can't do what they're supposed to do in the first place. So it's highly academic. Just a big nerd.
This is like somebody you find out there in a cool field, like entomology, right? Is like about insects.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, cool. What are you studying? And they like study like a weird little like pill bug, which isn't even an insect.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that.
Exactly.
Some kind of like, oh, actually, it's like a little aphid.
Little aphid, yeah. Very like hipstery sort of project.
It's a plum aphid. It's on a Southeast Asian plum, and it it's very interesting.
Exactly.
So not like a praying mantis, like a grasshopper. No, just like a little aphid.
You know, the interesting thing about them, and actually, you know, it's funny. It sounds like we're making fun of these people, but like this is one of my favorite things is like sub factions in like hobbies. They're like interested in like a weird thing, or like there's this whole aspect of a science or a hobby that you just would never know about.
Yeah.
We have a million, of course, in Warhammer and miniature painting and stuff like that, and I love hearing about that. Like the specific subsects of like making bread.
It's actually true.
Know?
Like
it's so fascinating.
It's actually true. You're not wrong. Like I'm kind of making fun of it, but also I mean I went to grad school. I had to I'll tell my nerd thing. I had to take this music theory class called Schenkerian analysis. So if there's any music theory people, basically it's like this whole other way of analyzing music theory where you like I'm not going to get into it, but it's like
I like it. Please.
It's very weird.
Please get into it,
nerd. John
Casio, he's such a bro.
Entomology. Entomology. That is an entomology, Zach. Yeah. That is an Bryce. Okay. So
he's a nerd.
Good nerd.
And totally guilty of all of this. I went to grad school. Like, I made very specific art games about very specific things. And I'd be happy to tell you about it for hours on end. So just let me know. I got you. All right, next up, we've got Tekklus, the ultimate nerd. I included this guy, not because I like him. I think he's kind of annoying, if I'm honest. But he's such a nerd because he doesn't fight. He's like this mega person that everyone's scared of, but like if you actually look at his profile,
if you get into combat with him, he hits like a wet noodle.
He hits like a wet noodle. He's like this little dude. And we all remember Tekklus from back in the day. This little guy. He's still a little guy, turns out. He's just a crazy, insane, powerful caster. So
yeah, he's funny. I played against him a couple times. I'm almost always like, after I'm done playing a game, which I always lose because this army's insane.
Yeah.
I've only played against this army I think twice. And once against Brian on string with Bone Reapers in like my third Sigmar game ever.
Oh my god.
But I often wonder if like he's even I know he's super good because he buffs things like crazy. But I often am like, at 700 points, like
it's a lot.
Are you sure this is like?
It's a lot.
Sure you don't want to just take more wardens and sentinels?
I know, it's shocking, right? Because he's so overpowering in psychic, but then once you reach him, he's not even that tough, to be honest, right? Like if you can have a big melee character?
I have not had like a Frost Lord get into him, but I'd be interested in that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know for a fact, but that's...
Yeah, I'd be interested to just send like a Finest Hour Frost Lord into him.
Little Finest Hour going?
I think he could kill him. Or Kragnos.
Well,
Kragbro.
Not that tough when Kragnos can kill him.
We will have to do the opposite of nerds. We'll have to do
the jocks.
The jocks, yeah. Which we were saying we think that's kind of what my army's like Mean Girls. It's basically a Mean Girls.
Your army is a Mean Girls army. Yeah, we'll do a Mean Girls version.
We were saying like these daughters are gonna like the sad elf girl from this. They're like smoking in the bathroom and she comes in. They like put her upside down in the trash can.
That's so mean.
That's what Daughters of Khaine do.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we need to have like Chattakar.
Chattakar for sure is gonna be in it.
Kragbro.
Oh my god, it's so good. Oh man, you know what we say.
Thanks, nerd. Thank you for your service.
Thank you so much.
Is that
before
all?
I think I have one or
nerd?
two. Do we want to do any check-ins? I feel like we're talking about nerds for a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
how you doing?
Yeah, not a nerd. The High Gladiatrix.
Not a nerd, famously.
Super super not a nerd.
Wow, she is. The camera really wants that light right there.
Yeah,
Move that.
let's do that.
There you go.
That's easier, right? So her hair, I'm doing like kind of this ombre thing on the hair. And so hers is almost done. One step I'll do with a brush is just go a little bit and pick out a few strands with white to kind of just like highlight it, have it go a little deeper. And then otherwise I'm going to get going on more of her details. So I'll actually weirdly start with her eyes and a little bit of makeup. I'll show you guys how I figured out a way to do that with contrast paint, kind of fun, so that it doesn't look too garish and looks a little more subtle. But I'm actually thinking with her, I'm going to give her, because she's got like this nice, all this like skin area on her head.
Yeah.
And not as much hair. I'm going to give her sort of like some kind of crazy paint or maybe a tattoo. On a face
that'd be cool.
tattoo. Nothing like getting turned upside down into a trash can by a girl with a face tattoo.
Yeah. 100%.
Nerd.
Exactly. Moving right along, we've got the Blue Scribes. Look, again, we talked about people who bring books to battle. These guys bring all the books.
They bring a desk.
They bring a desk.
they're like, I don't need to work from home, but my desk is mobile.
Hey, didn't you know in chapter 34 of the subsection of this blah blah blah? Like, and they brought every book ever written with every spell, and they're trying to catch them all. Like they're like the ultimate nerds. I don't even know. There's nothing else to say about these guys. They're nerds, and they steal other people's nerdism.
Yeah, that's mega nerd.
Nerds.
Thanks, nerd.
Alrighty, looks like we're on. I've lost count.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So this is my all category. Caradron Overlords. All. They're all nerds.
They are big nerds.
These guys aren't afraid to get stuck in, but you know what? So are nerds. Nerds can fight.
And
yeah,
so let's talk about what makes these guys nerds, because I've been kind of going through and reading up on a lot of the factions of Sigmar I don't know much about.
Yes.
And these guys are one of those. And the thing I was reading is that like everything is, these guys are actually business nerds. These guys are actually like if there's business, businessmen. If we did top 5 business, GW businessmen.
Oh my God.
We would reuse these guys for that.
For sure.
They don't do anything without like a contract.
It's all about contracts. And in fact, the way that they get organized, their rules, their code, their chapter tactic, is made with 3 separate sections. The article, the amendment, what is it? There's like a main section, the article, and then the amendment to it. And those 3 things make up the code that you follow, including, of course, one that's called, they're more like guidelines, really, and it lets you change your amendment, which is amazing. But they're all about, these strict contracts, business, these are the rules, and they're very technical. Of course, they are very, very into, like, ether dust and making guns with them. So, sky accountants, that's right. Sky accountants.
Yeah, they are sky accountants, basically.
So yeah, literally all the Caradron nerds.
Thanks, nerd. And that's it.
I think that was my fifth.
Did we thank all of our nerds?
We did. Yeah. We did it. All right. Well, once more time.
Thanks, nerd.
You can never have too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And look, we will say this. We are big nerds here.
We're huge nerds.
We're huge nerds.
Yeah.
So.
I hope everyone takes that in the spirit in which it was meant.
Which is that
for fun, and we're nerds, and we like to celebrate being a nerd.
And John doesn't actually bully nerds. That was an amazing clip. By the way, who found that?
Kirkinos, you're a madman. I was like, we need you were the one that thought of it. And I was like, that's an amazing idea. We'll never find the clip. And I went in Discord. I said, hey, is there any way anyone remembers the stream where John says thanks nerd, because I believe it was actually Nerdtronic, because I sent a super chat. And John was just like, thanks, nerd.
Yeah, he was just like calling him by like a shortened version of his username.
Yeah,
right?
Which is hilarious. He's just John. He's like a nice guy.
Yeah.
And so I posted that, and then Kirkinos was like, I think I recall it's on the Halloween episode Q&A, October 28th, 6 minutes and 56 seconds in.
You'd think we would have remembered because it was the Halloween one. Like I
totally erased that from my mind, honestly. It was just like a thing.
Yeah.
So like honestly, a huge thank you to Kirkinos for finding that.
Thanks, nerd. So much. We were like, do we have the time to look? Like, we gotta get ready for the show. We got other things going on.
Yeah.
It was like, probably not worth our time. As much as we want to have a permanent clip of John going, thanks, nerd.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we do.
Now we have it. It's forever.
It's forever.
Yeah, exactly like Wolf of Wall Street, Michael. Caradrons. Alrighty, so look, I'm just painstakingly painting this pallid flesh with my Typhon Ash. This is the most annoying part of the process because I'm painting on black, so it takes a few layers, a few thin coats. But I have to do it by brush to really get that nice contrast of this pale flesh against the, I put the gesture towards my arm.
Yeah.
Very, very pale against the black and the green. So let's see how close we can get. Oh, sorry. Wait.
No, what I'm doing is sort of crazy. Oh, there, it's you. Good, good, good.
Actually, sorry. Can we use your crazy thing for a second?
My crazy thing?
Yeah. I want to show them my...
Oh, I see. Yep. My crazy thing.
My crazy thing. So there we are.
Yeah,
so it gets that nice contrast. It's a pain, but it's totally worth it. So
you're talking about the brown?
No.
No,
the flesh.
Oh yeah, it looks incredible.
Thank you. The brown is very like non-noticeable right now, and I will wash it in some normal.
But even the brown is nice. Like
it brings some earthy tones.
Yeah.
When everything's super ethereal, you have to have something that helps kind of bring it down to earth.
I am doing a little bit of makeup here. And what I'm doing is I used the two kind of contrast colors I'm using. So my characters are going to have ombre purple hair, like platinum to purple.
Oh, nice.
And most of the witch elves will have platinum to pink.
Okay.
But the makeup I'm doing, I'm mixing, kind of mixing down this. There we go. This pink with contrast medium, which I think if you're going to get into using the contrast paints, you want to pick up the medium.
Right.
It lets you just scale around with it. And so I'm basically taking this. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of light here, not lean in too much. This is kind of the problem with showing off something detailed like this. Is I really want to like get in here with my floppy hair.
Yeah, that's good. That's the way to do it. If you don't have floppy hair,
so I'm just giving her like a little bit above her eye. And you might have to put a couple coats on to get it where you like it, but that's better. You want to start low and add to it. Easier to add than to take away.
Multiple thin coats.
And I'm going to do the same on her lips. I realize we don't. I don't wear lipstick, but I realize we often don't match lipstick with eyeshadow. Well, we do, but not exactly often. But that's kind of what I'm going for here. Either way. And I will make it just a little bit more intense on the lips.
Heck yeah.
I like the idea that they, like the idea that they wear makeup into battle, I know is something you can say, well, that doesn't make sense. But I think that they do it in a way that lets them look and feel terrifying in a beautiful way or beautiful in a terrifying way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and that's kind of the aim, I think. That's kind of the thing with Daughters of Khaine. We talked about there are so many egos in this game.
Yep.
And these two armies are king of that.
Oh,
right?
100%. They're
king and Marathi's literally like queen of ego.
Yeah.
And this High Gladiatrix is like her background is like.
Oh yeah, what's her deal?
They're basically just like.
Not nerds.
They're not nerds. They're like sports girls, sports mean girls.
Yeah.
That like go on to play sports in college.
Yeah.
And not nerds.
Sounds great.
Like not somebody you want to like cut in front of in the grocery store.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Oh my gosh, that's so many coats. I'm almost free. Oh, this candle. I went ahead and I washed my book. Oh, this guy also a nerd. And my bone. What is this? This thing that holds the book. What's the? No, in music, there's not a special term for the music stand. It's just a music stand, yeah. But it reminds me more of that than anything. He's got like a music stand for his ledger. Okay.
It's like a pulpit.
It is like a pulpit. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But it's like attached to him. It's amazing. Okay. Yeah, makeup doesn't make sense in battle. Ignores the 8-foot-long braids and bikinis. Exactly. Yeah. Look, it's just, I always think of two things. I think of cherubs, bionic babies with wings, which makes no sense, but it's just cool. Like, even saying it's cool is kind of pushing it, but it's part of it and it's fun. And then the other thing is Thunderwolf Cavalry. You have giant genetically modified Viking warriors with shields, hammers, and a giant suit of armor riding on a giant genetically modified wolf that might have been probably was a human at one point, and also probably is also a cyborg.
You know, it's funny that you say that. I think I won't name any specific games, but I think that it's sometimes what causes other war games to like have a couple years and then kind of crumble.
Oh, okay.
I think sometimes they're worried about like the realism of not only the lore but the rules and like all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, real life is boring, right?
Yep.
Real
life sucks.
Yeah, historicals are really compelling, but even historicals, I mean, I think there's an element that you're playing it because you're really into that historical era. I'm not sure anyone plays like muskets and tomahawks and muskets and isn't like interested in colonial America, right?
You're not playing for the rules; you're playing for the setting.
Exactly. So I think it's interesting, but I really do think that the kind of craziness is what makes it fun, right? Like,
yeah, I do think realism is the bane of a lot of things in tabletop gaming. Honestly, it's like it's cool. It's totally cool. I'm not truly knocking like photorealistic painting, but I think if you critique someone for not doing that, then you're missing the point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a style. I get it. Same with like model train stuff. Like it's super cool.
If you're trying for that specifically, right?
Yeah.
But if it's just to have a good time, then
yeah,
do whatever's cool. Make it crazy. Make it memorable. Make it unique. You know, the last thing we need is like another game that's like fantasy, humans, elves, and dwarves.
Yes.
You know, like that's the last thing. Frankly, the last thing we need is another like soldier marine guys fighting each other. So why not?
I agree.
Like we were just talking about it, even about the regular Space Marines the other day, right? You're saying like how important it was that they did the Primaris line.
Oh yeah.
Because ultimately, it's still kind of an older concept. These big super warriors, seeing it less and less. But by doing Primaris and trying to sort of renovate it and make it more modern, it was a good call.
Yeah. They look just kind of like the old ones by contrast, like stubby, I guess is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unless again, in Horus Heresy, you're like again intentionally leaning into that time zone. Like we joke that Horus Heresy is historical 40K, but it literally is. Like there, the appeal is like you read the books, you know the background, you're trying to recreate all these different scenarios, and that has its own appeal in and of itself. So you're kind of like coming back, you're coming full circle. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, full circle.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it's actually cool. And I look, I think that's totally what people who get into heresy are getting into heresy for.
Yeah.
Like, they're getting into it for that. Yeah, that future history vibe.
Future history vibe.
Future historicals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Future historicals. Well, why do you say to some super chats?
Let's do it.
What do you say? All right. Thank you, Ted. So, Zach, what kind of cult do you favor a Wicker Man? What? What kind of cult do you favor a Wicker Man style folk cult? Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of cults do you favor? A Wicker Man style folk cult, or a local hereditary style cult, or punk rock cult, punk rock Mandy style cult? Sorry, Ted, I butchered that for you.
Okay, so I know Wicker Man, I know Hereditary.
Yeah.
Ted W, or maybe Meg if she's in, is punk rock Mandy style cult. Is that from Green Room? What is that from?
I don't know what that's
Does anybody know what that's from?
Yeah, let us know.
But either way, I think that one is not my answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think my... So I like the movie Hereditary more than I like either the original Wicker Man with Christopher Lee, which is really, oh my God, peak 70s trippy. I'm like so into the 70s right now. I'm like so into like everything 70s right now.
You're crazy.
Like 70s high sci-fi, 70s low sci-fi, 70s, like a good 70s movie. Oh man. And you know what I love about the 70s?
Yeah.
I have to say this about the 70s. The 70s is the last time, like in the 70s, it was like peak intellectualism was cool. There was like shows where people just sat and talked to each other for an hour about one topic. Like you would not get that today. It's like peak nerd culture.
Totally. Well, you also saw in even like pop culture and music, you saw this sort of backlash in music from things like, the Poppy Beatles and all that stuff, where it's like super, super short songs. And then Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and mainstream, they're like, you know what, this song's gonna be 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're gonna like it. And it's just like totally the opposite of what the 60s was, which is like la-di-da kind of thing.
Yeah, I miss, I like that nerd element, speaking of nerds, of the 70s. So thank you, 70s.
Thanks, nerd.
John, a whole diss on the 70s. John, come on.
John, what is up with that? Wait, you didn't answer the question, though.
So yeah, I
Wicker
think
Man, Hereditary, or Mandy.
The other Wicker Man is the Nicolas Cage one, of course. That one is the one he's like, the beast! Like,
What?
Famous scene of like, not the beast! It's like peak Nick Cage, it's so good. But I think local, like your local friends and family, or not friends and family, but just like your local neighborhood cult. I think I like, as far as the cult goes, I think I like Wicker Man / Midsommar style a little bit more.
Yeah.
Then I like kind of the Hereditary. But I'm not
Totally
sure
agree.
that it makes the best movies. Weirdly, I kind of think the Hereditary is like the movie I like a little bit, the cult movie I like a little bit more because you can do a little. I don't know. You can do a little more with it. Both Hereditary and Midsommar are cool because they're like told through the victims of the cult's perspective. But
that's the best way to tell it, no?
I think so. I guess most cult movies kind of are.
Yeah. It's more interesting and scary that way, and mysterious.
Yeah. What's the other one? The Greta Gerwig one. I forget what it's called. That's like 70s. It's like new, but it's like 70s-ish.
Oh, I don't know.
I forget. Anyway, so I'm gonna say folksy style cult is
Folksy style cult.
Folksy cult is like my thing.
Wait, have you seen American Horror Story Cult?
No, I've never seen any of that show.
Dude, oh my god, I love that show. I have a complicated relationship with that show. I'll say that. Actually.
Yeah, I forget if Meg has watched any of it. By the way, I keep bringing Meg up. Meg is like a huge horror movie person.
Yeah.
She has a podcast, Not Quite Dead. I'm plugging it for her. She's my wife.
Like, yeah. I was gonna say, this is your wife.
Yeah, so they're actually about to start. They've been working on a bunch of like new seasons coming up, but you guys should definitely check them out. Megan does like all the research for these movies, and then our other friend Kate is just like a literature major brainiac.
Oh, that's cool.
So she major nerd vibes.
Major nerd.
Major nerd.
I'm not gonna press the button.
Yeah, both of these people when it comes to horror movies. So yeah, definitely love me a good folksy cult. I should watch some more cult stuff.
Watch this season. I feel like you'd like American Horror Story in general because it's very like campy horror and it plays on like the genre. Every season explores the genres of horror. It's.
I don't. Weirdly,
You don't like camp?
I don't.
like camp?
I don't
What?
like camp. You know this about me. I cannot stand like the orc with the guitar as a weapon.
That's.
I don't.
That's like a different. That's different though. That's different.
That's different.
Anyway, so that season's all about different like cults and stuff, in like metaphorical and non. So, anyways.
All right, I'll give it a check out. I think Meg has watched some of it. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know.
Meg says thanks. She said more too, but I didn't want to read it. She said, "Aw, thanks, Zach. Thank you, Ultra Necron Marine. Appreciate it as always. Hey guys, starting to paint a Drukhari army. Was thinking of muted pinks, but also wanted to work in VMC, of course, blue-green. Can I get away with painting cults, cabals, and covens differently? Yeah, 100%.
That's like one of the cool things about this army.
That's one of the cool things about that army. 100% you can, and it'll actually help. It'll also help distinguish different boats and things like that. We actually have a friend of ours, Andrew Whitehead, who his Drukhari collection does something that I think most ours don't. His raiders actually have the different models on them depending on what they are. So like his Coven one has actual racks on it, and the witch one actually has witches, and so on and so forth. And so you can totally lean into that in a really cool way. I think John and I, because we kind of adjust what we're playing all the time, we have them work for whatever, but it'd be really cool. It's cooler, I'll be honest, to be more bespoke and like paint them for each dedicated cult Coven cabal.
Yeah, we're gonna show Andrew's models off some point in the near future here. But he's just a crazy painter to begin with.
Amazing painter. Cultist Chan in chat, what's up? Did someone say cultist?
Yeah.
I think you could totally get away with it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the cool reasons you can do that with the army. But
Yeah.
One of the cool things about the army that lends itself to that. But let's say even you want them to have a unified look. I still think these colors are mixable. Look, there's also elements like do witches have hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can do ombre, Vleho, blue-green hair on your witches. It's gonna look awesome with their muted pink armor.
Hair is a great way to distinguish those squads too, honestly.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of play.
Yeah, and you can have certain elements kind of tie them together, right? So what is the thing that they all have? Is it the same type of metal? Is it part of like the body glove is always the same? And that way, if you want to, you can have these kind of different and varied paint schemes, but you can tie them in with just a couple elements. Even, look at my orcs that are kind of all over the place. I always make sure that I bring in certain elements of one of the other colors, no matter, whatever I have on that model. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Good luck with the Drukhari army. It's, I feel like it's like a medium, high level, hard army to paint.
Yeah.
In between, I'm going to say, let me think. In between, less hard than Thousand Suns, harder than Craft World.
They are harder than Craft World. They're harder than you think, I'll be honest.
Yeah. They're not quite Thousand Suns or Harlequins. Yes. Harlequins are about Thousand Suns. They're not quite. Sure. They're not quite there, but they're on the top half.
They're hard to shortcut because of the types of materials that they have. You can't really easily just airbrush them because it's actually kind of like these Daughters.
This is what I was literally about to say. Like I'm learning that these guys are not.
It's the same thing because it's like you have flesh, metal, leather, cloth, gems, all these things in such a tight area. It's really hard and you can't really block them out. You have to just get in there and kind of distinguish them with a brush. So it's really hard to avoid that, which is both a good thing and a bad thing.
Again, it's nice to have challenges.
Yeah.
And it's nice that you can go to different armies for a challenge. You can say like, hey, I want to challenge myself. What's a good army that I can like step into with that? Weirdly, kind of when I was thinking about like what army do I really want to be my Sigmar army, my first instinct was Seraphon, because in general I tend to like good guys.
Yeah. You say that.
I say that. It hasn't borne out that way in Sigmar for me though. It seems to be like in 40K I like good guys.
Yeah.
I tend to like good guys overall, at least in 40K.
Yeah. It's who you want to be. It's your goal. It's your goal faction.
It's my goal, but and I also kind of I don't know. I like non. I don't know. They're just wild, right? And eventually I will paint a Seraphon army, I'm sure, at some point in my life.
Yeah.
But they have kind of a different set of challenges for them, and I think their challenges seem very fun to me. Like you get to kind of do it looks like an army that you just like pick colors and go wild with.
Yeah.
Because there's not these expectations that their faces will look terrifying but beautiful, right? Like true. When you're painting a skink, you're not really like, what's the emotion this skink? I want this skink. And frankly, they're the least emotionless army there is. Like they're just like that plop 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 plop, like kill things, like kill chaos. Throw your spear. Okay, now you're dead. Guess I'll die. Guess I'll just die.
Skink just won Golden Demon.
I know, it was so good. Kat was there. She got to see it in person. And she was like, it's too bad. She was like, because in person it's just like crazy better.
Right.
Because some people like online were saying like, it's kind of weird that this model won. It's like pretty low key. It's like this tiny little model.
Yeah, but
that's in some ways what makes it more impressive.
Exactly.
Right?
It's like you're always upset about like display boards and stuff impacting paint score. I feel it's like a similar thing where like, yes, in theory, like yes, it obviously is more work to do a big model, but like, is that really the point? Is it how much of your life have you burned into this model, or is it how good does this model look?
And I guess I do wonder if like, so I'm not in this competitive. I
guess it's a different category, but yeah,
community like Kat is. I try to win like for army stuff, but not like individual models. Those guys are at a whole nother level.
Right.
And I guess I would say like you could make a point that like, well, are the winners in the future going to be those people who just put a year into a skink, as opposed to a year into Kragnos? You know what I mean? because maybe you get further. But I don't think it quite works that way.
Yeah, and as I was realizing also, as I said, that there are different categories.
There are different categories, but there is an overall best painted though.
That's fair.
And that's what won the overall best painted.
But I mean, it's true. Like, let's be honest. Like, if you want to see the best job possible, it's just like we said about armies, right? Painting armies and painting models, how it's different. Like, from a technical perspective, painting that one model is almost always going to look better than what we do, where it's painting a whole army. Just given that it's just a fact.
I think that's true, but here's what I like about it. Like, the competitive human spirit will produce somebody in the near future that's like not going to be like, oh, okay, I'll just paint a guardsman and win.
Yeah.
Like, someone's gonna be like, cool, I'm gonna go ahead and paint, not like a crisis suit. Someone's gonna like level it up, right? Like,
totally. And I think that should be part of the judging. I don't know what the rubric is, but
I don't either.
It should be in consideration. Like, I've done a lot of art critiques in my life, both being the subject of and running, and it's like always a consideration as far as like there's so many things that are part of the consideration of like how well done something is.
And you're saying like part of it is
like
what do they
did they
reach
take
for?
risks? Or is this easy? Is this different? Like that's all part of it, right? Like if it's an easy model to paint, that's a similar sort of vein of like, well, this person really went big and they really paid off and it turned out amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my God, you could say it the other way. Look, this basic troops choice looks insanely amazing. So I don't know. I think I'm sure this is all part of the consideration, but I don't know.
Yeah, there were some crazy awesome things there.
It's impressive.
Yeah, very impressive.
And like you said, it's like a whole nother world, right?
It's another world. I guess I would honestly say it just impresses me beyond belief. I don't think it's a world I'm interested in getting into anytime soon.
Yeah, same.
I'd love to just make really nice armies.
Yeah. Exactly.
But the idea of just doing that one model, and I don't know, it
sounds horrible.
It's taxing, man. I mean, like when Kat's entry, which is incredible. We actually have to get some pictures up of that.
We do.
Maybe we'll have her bring it in next week. Kat's. I mean, it was kind of like Kat's life.
Yeah.
On and off for like a year.
Yeah.
Like she had to keep coming back to this thing, and it was like, cool, this is okay. Like I got to work on. She'd always be like, oh, got to work on my Plague Angel. Got to go work on my Plague Angel. Like
I can hardly stick with one army, let alone a model.
I know, right? And then like I don't know that like. So let's say I did that with Marathi, and then like I spent a year on her, and like just like blah 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 Marathi all year, like paint her up, enter in a contest, like I don't know, win or don't win, whatever. Then I'm at least gonna play with Marathi.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, I have like every time I put her on the battlefield, I'm like I've got this awesome like story, like this awesome like year I spent like just with this model.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same way. I want to use the thing and play with the thing. Maybe I'm childish for that, but
yeah, I'm gonna play with my toys.
I've never been so into like figurines that just sit there.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I just know it's not for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
Yeah.
But kudos to those who can do that. I don't have that patience.
I can't even fathom like the willpower. It's very impressive.
Yeah, Bryce. I hope we get to compete there too. I hope we get to play.
In what?
Bryce is going to Bay Area Open.
Oh yeah. Wait, Bryce, are you playing in Sigmar?
He's playing in Sigmar.
Ask Bryce.
Ask Bryce what? Wait, what?
If he's playing in Sigmar.
Oh, Bryce. Oh,
that was a joke. It was a bad joke.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Bryce.
Nerd. It's gonna be exciting.
That's cool.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have these guys done by then.
You'd best.
Yeah, I will.
Maybe I should play in Sigmar. They don't patch Harlequins.
Bridger's playing in Sigmar.
Yeah, I know. All the Titans just playing Sigmar.
What's that? Yeah. They already mentioned they're gonna patch Harlequins next week.
They did, yeah, they did. It's coming. It's a coming. We'll see. I don't know. I might just also take my orcs. Like if that was sort of kind of my sentiments from the last BAO.
Just take them, have fun.
From LVO, I was like, I don't know if I really want to go for tippy top.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's my vibe right now, so might as well take orcs. Have a good time.
Try to lose your first game and just.
Yeah, I'll actively try to lose my first game.
It can be fun to, if you lose your first game, you get to do this like claw yourself back up kind of thing, which I'm kind of into.
Yeah.
I'd like to not do that, but
it's just tough because, and the reason I'm so down about taking like Harlequins right now is like, even if I play really good games against really tough opponents, someone can look and be like, oh, but it was Harlequins. And it's not even like in a mean sense, and I'm not like begrudging those people, but I'm like, yeah, like I would like if I achieve the accomplishment for it to mean something. And if that's not going to mean anything even to me, then why do it?
Even to you is the big one, right? Like,
yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah. So it's weird. Whereas like, yeah, taking an orc list and like seeing how far I can go before I lose a game or something. I don't know.
How excited? I mean, I think like I always bring up baseball. Like I used to be a big baseball fan, but baseball doesn't really appeal to me because it's just about who's buying. Like there's no salary cap, so it's kind of just like, I'd rather watch other sports ball.
That always struck me as so weird with that stuff. So I tried to really get into. So I like Overwatch. As you know, I'm a fan of the game, and I tried to get really into the Overwatch League when they started that. But the problem is they wanted it to be very legitimate and be like real sports ball, where they actually had like investors and people bought teams, and it was all fine and dandy. Like originally, like one of the teams that's at San Francisco Shock. Like that's my team right there. That's my home team, and there was only like 8 maybe teams in the whole world. So like the fact that one of them was like so local was awesome. None of the players were from San Francisco or even the Bay, because it was just like you just bought players basically. And I was able to kind of let go of that at first and like, okay, I would like to have some sort of attachment to the place where they're from. But whatever. But what really got me was when, inevitably seasons continue and people start trading out. People go to different teams, people buy out different players, and then it's so amorphous, and you're just like, oh, this person is now on this team. And then I'm like, well, what am I really cheering for if it's not anything to do with the city and the players are kind of moving around? Like, I like following the players, that's fun, Pine for life. But it kind of took me, I was hard for me to get into it. I'm not a traditional sports person, so I don't have that connection. And I've always wondered that about, at least with sports teams, it's like you can cheer for your home team until they move away, which,
right.
Right. We know also in the Bay Area.
Right. In the U.S., weirdly, the NFL and the NBA have done good jobs of keeping, especially star players, that people really get attached to, like in their teams.
Right. Well, it's tough because, like, for me as a spectator, I get attached to personalities more than how good they are.
Sure. I mean, but that's part of it. That's always, of course.
Right.
You're not alone in that. And
yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Just some thoughts from a nerd talking about sports.
Yeah. Thanks, nerd.
Thanks, nerd.
Thanks, nerd.
Someone's so sick of that right now.
Yeah.
Like, God.
Melody
this is going to be a negative.
Melody said it never gets old. Negative sub.
Negative sub rate. Zach, we'll see. We'll see. Either people are going to love it or they're going to hate it. How you doing? How's your...
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
it looks awesome. Can I see?
Yeah.
Can I just with my eyeballs? Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. Now we're gonna be...
This is nice. This is really nice.
It's a cool model. Now we're gonna be picking out some areas of her. Some metal is gonna get verdigreed and some's not.
Okay.
Also, we gotta probably find a spot for some gold. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here. I'm taking Druchii Violet, and there's places where like her skin touches metal, touches cloth, and I usually just like to tag in there a little bit with a recess wash. And on these ladies in this army, I'm going to be using Druchii Violet.
Druchii Violet.
But I'm very subtle with it because I don't want there to be like big chunks of like pink shading going on.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
No, it's tough when we do these. It's tough when we do these like tiny infantry models.
Yeah.
Because just like that, you guys can see.
Show is always a work in progress. It's still a new field. It's how do you do live hobby shows that are dynamic and interesting. So thank you guys for your patience as we experiment.
Yeah, it's one thing when it's like even like a crisis suit size.
Right.
But something kind of tiny, I want to be like, this is the view I want to give viewers, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So
GoPro.
Yeah.
GoPro. I'm with you.
Doing the best here.
I'm still coming back and finding patches of flesh that need paint. I think I won't overthink it because I am going to Nuln oil them. So that's inherently going to kind of get in some of these recesses anyways.
Thank you, Ergen Claw.
Hey,
hey guys, I'm thinking of a new workout routine. Let me know what you think. It starts with squats, a rest, squats, and more squats.
I'm into it. I'm so excited for squats. I mean, Leagues of Votann.
Yeah, I refuse to call them squats. I'm really excited for them as well. I love dwarves. We were talking about this on the show last night over at Tabletop Titans. I'm into dwarves and elves kind of equally.
Yeah.
But this is something when I saw it come out, and I love it has that, like we were talking about, that 1970s aesthetic I'm into right now.
You're into that.
I was kind of just like, can't do it.
Can't do it.
I mean, unless this thing comes out like a year from now, I'm kind of spoken for.
Well, you're like on all cylinders right now, and so I think you're a little traumatized.
Yeah, but also like, no, I can't.
No. Look, I will never learn my lessons, and I'm 100% doing this army.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool, and you know,
it's so cool.
We'll see.
I'm really curious to see the rest of the line.
Yeah.
Like, what a tease! One model. Let us see. What are they about? What do their vehicles look like? Do they have dirigible suits? I bought more of those things, by the way.
More Caradon?
Specifically the boat suits. Well, so what it was in that warehouse sale that we keep talking about.
Yeah.
I got the Ether War box, which is Disciples of Tzeentch versus Caradron. It's like 2 armies I play.
Yeah.
But the Caradron side is like another Endrin Master, more balloon boys, and like one of the small boats. So like it's not stuff that I needed, but it's stuff that I need. More
sure.
The balloon boys are like not the way to go right now, but they're just my favorite part of the faction because they're so silly and flavorful. I've learned over the years, like, I just value like flavor more than anything. Even in like video games, like basic humans, no matter how cool you can make them, not interesting to me. Like I have a problem with a lot of games. Like in WoW, no Warlock, baby. That's what it's about. I can make like a weird, slightly comical. I don't know. I need to have like an angle.
I'm the same way. I tend to not be in, I've never really been in the Marines. I'm really into the Stormcast.
I'm into the modern Stormcast. I think they've really started to find their own aesthetic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, we gotta get some Vigilors, man.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
You love the Liberators. These are like Liberators Plus.
No, I know. They're all like it's a lot of cool stuff. But I do agree with you. Overall, I need something a little more than basic humans. But GW is stepping it up, man. Like, oh man, I think before I paint I paint any dwarves, what I really want to do is get the Ash Waste guys.
Oh yeah, you're super excited for them.
Yeah, and we know at some point a new Guard Codex will come out, but I don't even really care.
Yeah.
But I want to just take them and make them a Talaran army also.
That'd be so cool. You're also super into Dune right now.
I'm also super into Dune right now. The movie, not the book.
Wow.
Which I don't like.
Frank Herbert is just like rolling over his grave.
I know.
It's not even that is not your favorite. You just wanted to make sure we knew, not the book.
Not the book, guys.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
The David Lynch.
The David Lynch version.
The David Lynch. Oh my God, the David Lynch one is unwatchable.
So
it is no longer valid as a concept.
Yeah.
After the most recent one.
Right.
Sorry, Dave and Kyle MacLachlan. Look, you're going to be hard pressed to find a bigger Kyle MacLachlan fan than me.
Yeah,
I love Kyle MacLachlan.
So funny.
Oh my God, Portlandia.
Yeah,
he's so
that's
good.
Fair, that's fair.
Kyle MacLachlan was the first getting up there in age old actor who was like, I'll do something crazy. You know what I mean? He was the first one to do that. Now it's like, now every old actor is like, cool, some young guys, some young person's got some cool, crazy, wacky thing. Totally. Cool, I'll go be in that. He was the first one to just be like, I'll do it. Yeah. Because he's been doing his whole life.
Yeah.
Because he's in Twin Peaks. It's crazy.
Yeah. All weird, crazy projects, man. I love it. Oh my God, I love David Lynch so much. So when my dad was here visiting, he hadn't seen Dune yet, and Mel she had fallen asleep multiple times during it. So I was like, Mel, you're going to watch this time. And my dad was like, you're going to watch it. He is a big nerd. And I was like, I need to know if how does it hold up? And it was amazing. They both loved it. And then afterwards, my dad was like, no, we should watch the David Lynch version. Mm-hmm. And we're like, oh, we're watching it on Amazon. So it's right there. And he's like, let's just watch the preview. And we watched it. And it was 2-minute, preview. And he's like, yep. That's actually all he needed, turns out. Don't need to actually watch it. It's way worse than he ever even remembered, They go to fight and they hit those shields turn on and oh my God.
The geometric. Oh my God. But it does have Patrick Stewart, so.
It does have Patrick Stewart, it does have Sting.
And it has Sting. Oh my god.
It has
so good.
It's got a good cast.
It has
like as most David Lynch movies do.
Yeah,
often,
that's true.
There's some insanity that happens.
He just like looks at them and there's like, yeah. Anyways.
Sure, I'll be in your insane movie.
So I defer to the Talaran.
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe make those cricket guys sentinels, like scout sentinels. I was
so
thinking.
cool.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
And then like they're gonna look great with like all these tanks, right? I can like get tanks, I can like green stuff like cloth all over them and
I'm
stuff.
super jealous, and all the weathering and stuff. It's gonna be amazing. I'm super into it.
I think like the idea of like Talaran are kind of cool anyway, and you never see them. And like we want more bespoke guard armies for.
Yeah, we got to start on that
for the channel. So it's like I have no idea how good Talaran are going to be, but like we're going to have Talaran.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Maybe we should start looking for some Destroyans. How cool would it be if like when the book comes out, we like all do guard armies?
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be cool.
Oops, all guard.
Oops, all guard. Even though more and more we keep doing that. We're just like, oops, all Tau. Oops, all Eldar.
We use oops all too much, but I don't know if that is a thing.
Well, the problem is, so it's really infectious in the studio. Like, most people have their army, their couple armies, whatever, but there's something about having to play all the different armies. It just reminds you how cool they all are. Like, there's no army that's not cool, I'll be honest. Like, you can say things, you can not have your favorites, but like, especially once you start playing in them and getting into like the lore and how they play, it inspires you. So even John, who was like very much just like an Eldar player when he joined the channel,
John's gotten into all
of them, and it's all correlated with like what he plays because you get into it,
Exactly.
So it makes sense. Like we're kind of like in this like feeding frenzy of like playing all these armies, having them, producing them, and you get excited. So what are you gonna do?
John really got into Grey Knights hard, huh?
Grey Knights hard, Tyranids. The only thing that curbed his Tyranids is when I was like, oh, I'm gonna take them to LVO. Otherwise, he was like ramping up for them. And yeah, you can't help it because they're all cool. At the end of the day, all the armors are cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think I actually weirdly started at Titans not thinking all the armies are cool.
Yeah.
But I agree. Almost every army is cool. And
come around to it.
There's almost none I could say. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I joke about like Imperial Fist being good at standing, but like that's not quite.
They're
what's going
so
on,
cool.
Right?
I'm gonna make you play them. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and I like them. There are chapters of Space Marines I think are cooler than others, right? But like
that's fair. You don't have to love all the Space Marines, but pretty much all the factions. So, Tanya Gates, the War Mistress. I'm so down for Oops All Guard. Hey, Tanya, so good to have you. If you guys haven't seen her content, it is a fantastic, very prolific creator and a great influence. So, highly recommend checking out her stuff. Yeah, look, Oops All Guard. It's gonna happen.
Oops All Guard.
It's like a massive commitment too. Like, it's not like, oh, let's all start Custodes, It's let's all start Guard. First, we need 60 bodies, and then like 12 tanks each.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it. It's more gratuitous, and I love it actually even more for that. All right, I just went through and I did all my copper, my bronze, and what's next? What's next? I need to do this book, which I think I might do like a burgundy.
I'm wondering where I'm going to fit some gold in on this High Gladiatrix.
Yeah.
I'm going to just have to do it. You know what I mean?
Just like see where the cards lie.
Just like pick a spot and make that spot gold.
There's no like.
There are all kinds of plates. Like I can make. I actually think I'm going to do one of the shoulder, a knee pad.
That's a knee actually.
A knee. Yeah, that's actually a knee.
Oh my god, I love how that oxide turned out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can get another look at that.
So my oxide recipe here is actually, excuse me, 1 second.
No worries.
Oxide recipe here is I do lead belcher, and then I do that coverage is pretty good, and then I do Pterodon turquoise contrast.
Okay.
Again, watered down to a level I like it to be with the technical, and then I just coat it, and it gives it like a subtle verdigreeing where like it especially pulls in the recesses, which is what I want. But also I get it in like a little slight tinting, right? And now what I'm doing is I'm taking Runefang Steel and highlighting areas. And the Runefang Steel, oh man, I love Runefang Steel as a highlight color. But I do need to put a little gold in here. Where is, here it is. What are you looking for, Adrian?
I'm looking for the head for my guy. Oh, wow, I can't believe I found that.
Wow, that was crazy.
Holy moly.
Oh, we got our own bot. Have we had a bot in Hobby Times before? Moving on up.
Wow, you're
moving on up. We need a bot. We need a celebration. Is that the first?
That's exciting. Oh my god! Look at that! Look how tiny this thing is. So this was on our dark carpet. I was sure we lost it. This is his head. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
Anyways. Victoria miniatures. I'll check it out. Someone's suggesting it for guard alternatives. Yeah. I also like the challenge of finding Vestroians. It's like so hipster, you know?
Vestroians? Yeah, they're cool. They're they got like featured for a while when the third to last most recent iteration of Kill Team came out. They're like on the cover of it. I think.
Really?
Yeah,
third to last.
Yeah, they're like fighting Tau. There's like a Tau versus. Oh no! I remember there's like a book that had what was this, like battle missions? You guys remember? Does anyone remember that book? I think it was the end of 5th edition.
I was gonna say that. I think that was 5th edition.
It was like towards the end.
Because these guys came out, I think, in 4th.
Oh, look, there's this cool little. Can I show this?
Yeah, please do.
There's this cool little thing on her chest plate where, I don't know how well you guys can see it. It's like a little design that sticks up. It's like perfect for the gold.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right here. Yeah, so then, this is perfect because I'm only going to do this knee pad, not both. So it's like this counter look here that I'm always into. Boom and boom. Cool. Gold problem solved.
Problem solved. Love it.
I love this. These ladies are getting like this series Mardi Gras vibe, which I like never would have said, oh, I'm going to paint my army Mardi Gras colors.
If you told me that, I would.
You would be not into it.
You.
Right.
Yeah.
But like I'm like actually like digging the Mardi Gras look.
Thank you, Melody and Willow, for dealing with the bots.
Yeah.
The Slaanesh bots.
Yeah. Thank you. You guys did a great job because you let me enjoy the bot just the right amount.
Yeah.
I wanted the bot to come in. I wanted to just be like, yes, the bot. We got our own bot.
Right.
But then we have to move on.
You got the nice part of it.
You can't keep the bot there.
You can't.
And look, we've toyed around making the bot a mod and seeing what happens.
Just put the idea out there.
And we've suggested it might be like a Skynet from Terminator style. Skynet from Net? Skynet?
Nuts? Skynut?
Skynut?
It's like a squirrel? What?
Skynet.
That's amazing.
You're poorly
got this whole like cartoon version in my head now with squirrels.
Skynut?
Yeah.
We want to try one time. You guys let us know what you think, but we definitely are in the studio. We're doing a lot of chatting about making the bot a mod. making the bot a mod. We've been chatting about it. Bridger and Adrian, mostly everybody except for me is against it. But you know what? We're gonna work on them, and we're gonna see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
I do think immediately what will happen within like a second is, I think
we'll be demonetized. We'll be highly monetized.
Maybe
we'll make more money.
I'm not sure. One way or the other, I think the internet will either just like end.
On the all internet.
All internet will immediately end within like 1 or 2 seconds, or we'll just see like insane, like our numbers will just like suddenly the watch rate will go.
But it's all going to be bots.
We'll just like
it's all going to be bots.
Is it? See, we don't know. I think that's unfair for you to assume that first thing a bot would do was invite other bots and make those bots mods.
Well, I think it's very close-minded of you to think that bots don't have friends.
Well, bots,
technically speaking...
But that goes to mind you to think that bots' friends are only other bots. They could have human friends.
No. I'm just saying they have more bot friends than they have human friends. You know that actually the majority of views on the internet is not done by humans?
It's done by bots?
It's like bots like trolling pages, like as they search through things and open pages up. Yeah. Look, that's a fact that nobody checked. But I'm pretty sure it's true.
I believed it.
It's definitely true. Tanya mentions the Raging Heroes jailbirds. Have you seen those?
I have
They're
not.
super cool. They're like very bespoke. Like you have like each member of the team and the squad.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it would be amazing to do a whole army. It would also be like millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But it'd be super sick.
Yes, we need to do some fan stuff, right?
We need to do fan stuff. Fan stuff!
Fan stuff was good. This week, like obviously, like it's always good, but it's a little bit of a smaller fan stuff than it normally is.
Gotcha.
And it's it's actually called. Okay, we didn't actually ask him, but we think John would like this fan stuff.
Nerd.
Okay, that might be the last or maybe second to last one we do.
Okay, third to last time. Got it.
Third to last time. These Rangers are like, in a way, this is what Craft Rose is built in.
This is Bieltan. This is my jam right here.
Yeah.
I really like the natural tones that they have.
I like that you don't see, and I'm guilty of this as well. You don't see a lot of people just like doing the classic scheme. Mm-hmm. People want to put a twist on it. I'm guilty of that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's anything to be guilty of.
Salmon blue.
Yeah, salmon.
Salmon. You like fish?
Yeah,
You like seafood?
Yes, actually, I do. I love. Yeah, that's what I do.
These are I love these. These are really fantastic.
And so it's the classic Rangers. It's the old kit. It's the fine cast kit or maybe metal.
Which is a great kit.
Still a great kit. I have
me started on that.
I have mine mixed in with my new ones, and you actually can't tell.
I mix them up constantly.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I have all the new ones of yours, and then it's like, oh nope, that's fine cast. That's fine cast. Because they look great.
I don't mind. Seth was in the studio today, and we were chatting, and he kind of joked that he liked Finecast, and then he was like, "No, I don't like Finecast," and that's the general consensus. I can live with Finecast. I'll be honest. It's honestly it's stuff like that Ranger long rifle right there. There are parts where Finecast doesn't work well,
right?
And it breaks too easily.
Yeah, it's very flimsy.
That's really the problem with it.
That's entirely fair.
And like I'm not saying anything like new here, right?
No,
but
this is not a hot take.
As far as like working with it goes, and then like playing with it and holding up overall, like afterwards, like it's fine.
Some models are just so flimsy and
some
warped.
are just too flimsy.
But
The
other thing that's impressive about this paint job is the crispness of the white in there. So you can see the white with the recess shading under the green is really, really impressive. I think you did a great job.
I think my thing with this is that like what I was drawn to was just like it's the classic scheme done perfectly.
Yeah.
And that's it. And so like it's gonna look good.
I find myself coming back to wanting to do this with my. You notice I've been repainting a lot of my aspect warriors just in the traditional colors.
Yeah.
And it's very rewarding. So well done. All right, let's take a look. Oh, dude, I saw when you were pulling this one up. It's like a whole scene.
Yeah, I had to check. Sometimes I have to check because every now and then someone will post like an inspiration picture, like going for this look.
It's like from the Warhammer community site.
It's from the Warhammer community site.
Yeah.
This was not.
This one looks like it could be, honestly.
Yeah, it looks like it could be though. It's really good. Yeah, this was cool. I immediately was drawn to this and was like,
so good. I don't know what chapter this is. Some Red Marines. Oh, Blood Angels. I can see it.
Yeah, they Blood Angels.
Yep. Oh, it's beautiful. I love what you've done with the place.
Yeah, very totally.
And always cool to see a squad. It's very impressive because
it is. And like actually I personally there's an Instagram site called for our gaming club that we don't keep up anymore called Fault Line 40K. And we just took these style pictures all the time.
Subscribe.
Yeah, and I like these style. This is how I like to show a unit off actually.
Yeah.
Or models off. It's like on the battle, like photos like this where they're on the battlefield.
Right.
The cool ones where it's like just the white background stuff is also cool. I like both.
Yeah.
But I do like to see them done this way as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, super cool. Really nice stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, this is really cool. I think they have like basing left to do or something, but they took a few pictures of it. It's so good. It's so like weathered, just like so interesting. I love. I don't know. I love white weathered.
It's so well done.
Cream, it's really good.
Look at how. Oh my god.
It's great treatment of like you would describe like if you saw this Marine, you'd be like the armor's white.
Yes.
But there's so much going on, right?
Right. I thought you were going to say a different thing, which we've been talking about recently.
Which is?
Like, Marines are not nice people.
Oh, no.
Giant, huge, terrifying killing monsters.
We were just talking about this. He looks scary, right?
He looks terrifying. He looks like a crazy serial killer with a chainsword. And I love it. And that's how I should feel looking at a Marine like that, you know? And I love it. It's, wow. Very, very, very impressive.
Yeah, I want Marines to look, like I love his face. I love...
Like, he's not a nice boy, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what it's about. Gosh, you guys are so talented. What? Look at this. I love this scheme. Again, with the dark greens and the blue fade. Oh my gosh, I love it.
I often feature finished stuffed. I love finished stuffed.
That's good.
Some things, Zach. I often feature finished models when I pick fan stuff. There's no rider on this bike, but like any rider just wants to hop on this bike, right?
I want to hop on that bike, honestly.
Yeah, really, really cool. I do love this. This green, this is a Kelly green. We were joking about it. You were like, "What is Kelly green?" You like looked it up and you're like, "Oh," you're like, "I hate." But
I thought Kelly green was a different color my whole life.
It's sort of just like the most neutral blah purple you can imagine. It can be hard to get right.
Purple?
Like certain shades of purple and green, I think are just like blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. It's like what?
And this is one of those shades of green, but the treatment they've done with it is incredible. And like blue, green, and red on a model, you'd be like, no.
Yeah.
Like if somebody told me I'm gonna do blue and green,
right,
and it's gonna be Kelly green pretty much,
right,
and I'm gonna have white. I'd be like the white decals I'm on board with, and they'd be like, and I'm also gonna have red. I'd be like, that sounds wrong. I would say I'd be like, I'd change the.
Yeah, I'd be reticent for sure.
I want the red to be maybe yellow or the blue to be yellow, something.
But they've gone to like a little pink with it too, which really helps. Really light and bright with it, and that it just helps it work in a way that it might not otherwise work.
Yeah.
Like like you're saying, and it brings a great contrast of tones, not just color.
Yeah.
That brightness with the dark is really amazing.
It's really good. Yeah, I like this a lot.
You guys are crazy talented.
Helen
Griffins, yes.
Yeah, we always feature these. They're just too good.
You are prolific.
Too good to pass up whenever it gets posted.
I love this.
Yeah.
I know I say it every time, but the quartering is just so crazy impressive to me because I don't have the patience for that. It's very, very difficult and taxing. Very impressive. And I also like the shield. Is it a custom shield? Is it an Ultramarine shield? Maybe it's from Horus Heresy. They have a lot of there's some really cool shield kits there. Oh my god. I love it.
Really, yeah.
Very
amazing.
Impressive. John will love it too. Soups.
Yeah.
Hey, this is, again, put your name in here if you want us to make sure we get it, because sometimes it's a little frantic before a show goes live. So it's difficult to get names. Soups continues with this amazing output. Mm-hmm. Is it really? It's like a unit every week.
At least, yeah.
And it's quite varied, too. So we've got the Blood Angels here with the yellow helmets. I love the yellow helmets on this. Really nice contrast.
Yeah, I couldn't. I do vary as much as he does, I guess, but I don't. I do it because of here.
Right, out of necessity.
Yeah.
I
don't actually know otherwise that I like that. Like, I actually
jumping between armies.
Yeah, I've kind of learned I don't. Well, armies, terrain.
Well,
right?
you like to do like a whole army. Like you're bad. We were talking about that today. You know, you love to do big batches.
Yeah,
and not have to get those paints out again. You know.
Yeah.
That's like your style of paint. So this is definitely out of your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, but I don't mind going back and forth between maybe like an army and terrain. But he's just going back and forth between like all these different armies, and it's impressive.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, and that's right. Melody's pointing out, of course, it's just all brushwork with Soups, so that yellow is extra impressive. Because look how clean it is.
Yeah.
I hate painting yellow with paint brushes.
Me too.
I used to think I hated yellow. Turns out no. I just hate painting it with a paintbrush.
Yeah.
It's horrible. And look, that's gonna do it for today, y'all.
Yeah. Nice stuff, guys.
Not gonna press it. You only gave me 2 more times. Thanks, nerds. Good job. Amazing as always.
Yeah.
How
are we looking here?
Good. I'm kind of homing in on what is his name, anyways. Scriptor Mortis, not Temper Mortis.
Yeah.
Scriptor Mortis. Homing in on him. The head, I'm so confused by how I'm supposed to paint this. So I keep pulling this box, but he has. So the skull is sort of the same fleshy tones as the body, which I can do. The hair is, I guess it's black hair. I guess that's what it is. So what I should do is I should mask out the skull with maybe a little glom of your magic glom. And then paint the hair in this sort of black, like the death cowls. I answered my own question.
Death cows?
Death shrouds.
You did say death cowl.
Like a cowl is like a hood.
Oh,
kind of
right,
thing, right.
Okay. Not like a.
So it's not a hood. They actually do. These guys have hoods, but the death shroud, which
not
is
like
also
a moo cow.
not like a moo cow. That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. All right, let's see. And let's take a look at you. Oh,
yeah.
Lovely head of hair on you.
I'm back here. She is almost ready to have the whip put back on.
The whip?
Actually, you know what, guys? That's not true. She's not. Well,
she's not even close.
She's almost done, so in that regard, she is. But what I actually need to do now is her tactical rock.
Oh, heck yeah.
Because she is ready for her tactical rock. I'm also thinking I need to carefully. I think I want her hair to be a little whiter.
Oh yeah, not so pink.
Yeah,
I like the pink.
Not sure.
I don't know. I like how it's like the soft pink.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm gonna keep it. Actually, I just want it whiter closer to her head to have like a more aggressive ombre.
Right.
A word you have remember how you were like angry about the word ombre?
Yeah, it's a made-up word.
All words are made up, Adrian.
Oh my god. Language is evolving. But like, why don't you just say gradient? It's the same word. The word already exists. No need to make a new word.
I guess it's not like as fashion-y.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's like a Pinterest word. Yeah. I'm gonna get raked over the coals again like this one. I'm gonna get beleaguered over this.
Yeah, you're gonna get.
And everyone's gonna renown about how I can't say words.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm not very good either. So
you're not good. You don't know how to speak good.
I'm not good. Well.
I will.
Well talking.
You're not a good speecher. I will stick with my original argument, which I'm glad I actually did give this spiel on stream before I made all these mistakes. Is it's very privileged to be able to tell someone that they're not pronouncing a word correctly. You know, I'm a teacher. You're a teacher. We've worked with young students, and it's funny because I'm an American. I was born in the U.S., but I was actually the first of my family to be born in the U.S. My mom's from France. My dad's from Australia. So there's some things that I say weird or different.
Oh, when did your dad move here?
He was like, I think 10.
Okay, he doesn't really have an Australian.
No, he doesn't. So him, it's kind of the same. It's like certain trigger words he'll come out. So like he'll be like totally normal American accent. I'll be like, oh, can I get a glass of water? I'm like, the what?
Water.
Water.
That's like Philly. Water.
Water. It's like W-A, like W-O-T-A. Water.
Yeah.
And my mom, as she gets older, her like French accent gets stronger. Anyway, so I have certain words, and when you're working with kids, I'm elementary school kids, they will tell you, like I'll be like, oh, I would do like programming and science classes or whatever, and be like, oh, we have to look at the data, and they're like, it's data, Adrian. I'm like, this is how I say this word. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
If I had a British accent, I said data, you wouldn't make fun of me, would you, kids? And they're like, why are you giving us this lecture? We're only 6. I'm like, look, you gotta learn now, okay? Thanks, nerds.
Thanks, nerds. Yeah. I was thinking back on it. One of my first, like when I started producing on the show, one of my first like out of nowhere hot takes was that I'm like, in general, I'm not like one of these people that's like language needs to be preserved. I'm like, language is sloppy and messy and like anything goes. That's what makes new words. That's how people communicate. So I'm just kind of like, whatever. So when somebody says something wrong, I'm like, do I still understand what they're talking about? And usually the answer is yes. I'm like, so I don't.
Right. Yeah.
I almost never correct people. I didn't even like Craventhrone Guard versus Craven Guard.
Right. Well,
that's like the name of the unit, I guess.
Does it matter?
Does it matter? Not really.
No.
So I'm pretty like blah on language rules myself. I know that's a hot take, not something everyone agrees with.
I agree. Hey, look, language is evolving, right?
Language is evolving.
In the future, everyone says belaggard.
We're all work in progress.
We'll have to. All right.
Tactical rock. Here we go.
On tactical rock, I went ahead and I just washed this whole thing in Drakenhof Nightshade. I masked off the skull, and I just went on top. I was like, you know what? I actually don't need to go back and do the black and then the gray. I have this gradient. I'll just use it now. So that looks good. And I'm like so reticent about what to do next because I think at a certain point I need to just start constructing this thing. Mm-hmm. I need to do the book. That needs to be done before I put it together. So I'm going to do that next. Pick a color from this, and then potentially the script here, although I could do that later. Yeah.
Speaking of horror, I just had this moment of horror thought. One of the most horrifying things to me is picking up an airbrush, my airbrush, and realizing this like the paints. Because I lost track of it. That didn't happen just now, but like I had this like, oh, there's still titanium white in it. I know it.
Filled with titanium.
All right, we're gonna line her hair a little bit.
That's just a normal take, Zach. Willa says. And you know what? That's right.
I think so. Yeah.
It's a normal take. What color should I do my book?
So look, to lighten her hair. Oh, you're asking a question.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
You're asking me. Sorry, I'm like tongue chewing, concentrating here. Okay. Cool.
Should I just make it black?
No, sorry. Yes. Okay. The book. Where's the rest of them? What's the rest of them?
It's like this.
Oh, he's like weirdly missing black.
He is missing black.
Then yeah.
Okay.
Because
I'll
like that's
actually
like
do
a thing, right? Like in
It's
your
a thing
army.
with my army, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that. Cool.
I'm gonna write Book of Grudges on it.
Book of Grudges. I'm gonna put Bridger just in. He's writing Bridger's name.
You should do that.
Actually, should. I don't know if I can write that small.
Can we get how big is the book?
This big.
Is it possible to get like a picture of Bridger's face, like printed out like on a cricket?
Like we have the technology.
Do we have the technology?
Yeah.
Having-
it wouldn't be a
having
cricket.
his
It'd be
little-
like a transfer thing.
Yeah, transfer. Having like his little face, and then like it's like his name.
They'll be like, "Have you seen this dwarf?"
Yeah, and then like a list of Then there's like just like a list, and you don't know what it says, but you just know this guy's got like Bridger in his book.
That's amazing.
That's my vote.
It's so good.
Oh my god.
I love it. All right, so I'm just doing a bit of gray on the book, which I will then again wash in this blue. I'm gonna go a little bit lighter than I want. Gosh, it's so blown out here. There we go. So you can see it's pretty distinct actually, and that's okay because it's gonna get really toned down when we go ahead and put the blue through it. So that's what's going on in my life.
I am about to tint my tactical rock.
Tint your tactical rock.
Then I'm going to start assembling her. Then I'm going to check her for any last things that need to be addressed.
Yes.
And then I'm going to be done.
Whoa. Whoa. I love it.
But don't let me rush you.
No worries. No, I think it should work out pretty well. The Craventhrone Guard might take a little backseat.
Yeah, they're fun. I think there were a few super chats left.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Let me get this yellow here.
Should I ask right while you're
just
airbrushing yellow? Just like is that a good time?
Look, this is your airbrush. I'm happy to leave paint in it.
No. No.
Doing my candles. I've been doing candles in actually traditional colors, not like ghostly green. I just like that contrast.
Oh, so your night haunts show up and people are just like, well, they just got normal candles.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be afraid of the normal
Look,
candle?
in some ways it's actually spookier.
It's spookier. You're like,
Where are they getting normal, like real candles?
they're like,
from?
oh, we had such perfect lighting in here. They're changing it. Oh, they're just using too much yellow light.
That's right. Yeah, they're definitely yellow light candles. I think all candles are yellow light, but definitely
Like,
these ones.
We had great daylight. We had a daylight look thing going with plants and white walls and
Plants in white walls.
1920s.
Instagram.
What filter will we use on Instagram? And of course, these are all Stormcast Eternals having this conversation.
Of course it is. 100%. They're all, Stormcast Eternals are all about Instagram filters. 100%.
I gotta say, Stormcast Eternals, what do you think? Maybe the least drama.
Least drama?
Are they the least drama?
Actually, they kind of are. That's where they're kind of boring.
Yeah.
I like the models, but in the stories, it's just like Space Marines. It's like, oh my god, get me to the next chapter where there's humans, you know?
Yeah, or Nagash, like, maniacally laughing.
Yeah, let's get to the part with Nagash. Yeah.
I'll take those souls.
Curse you, Sigmar! Oh, that's Abaddon, right.
No, it's Nagash.
It's definitely
Curse
Nagash.
you, Sigmar! Those are my souls.
Sigmar's like, oh, there he goes again. Bum, bum. And it like ends, and you're just like, as a kid, as you're an adult watching this kids show about Sigmar, you're like, I think Nagash is actually the good guy. And I'm not sure what values this show is teaching my child.
Yeah, what is happening? So when Megan was when I was getting into Sigmar, Meg, who's not a big fan of 40K, was like, hey, you know what? I want to get into Sigmar with you. And so I was like, oh, cool. And she kind of like was like, I want to paint an army with the most animals. And we were looking out, and we were like, yeah, I think it's Soulblight Gravelords, weirdly.
Right. Unless you're into eels and Squids.
Yeah, yeah.
squids.
There are other ones out there, but
They're weird animals.
yeah, like she liked that. She was like, which one can I have animals as my basic troops? And I was like, Soulblight Gravelord.
Yep.
I think is it. Unless you consider a skink an animal, which it is. Then
I was going to say, in which case, you need to rethink your worldview.
Yeah.
Skinks are people, too.
Yeah, well, so she was like, look, you know what? If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna read the lore, and I'm gonna get into this. And so she started reading the lore, and she's like, so wait, she kind of came to the same conclusion. She's like, so there's a deal where during this war, Nagash gets the souls of things, but then during Sigmar is like, oh, you know what? Nagash won't mind if I just, I don't know, make an army that souls teleport back up to outer space when they die.
Yeah.
And so like Meg was like made like these pages in the book that off on the margins have like the check for understanding thing that are in like school textbooks. It's like, how do you think did Nagash have a point to be like, was Nagash's anger like valid?
Right.
In that Sigmar took the souls? Do you think it was right for Sigmar to go back on his deal and just like
so good? The answer is yes, 100%. God.
Yeah, Sigmar is full of the Order faction doing like not so good things.
Right, which I love, and I hope it's all intentional.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
absolutely. I'm sure. I mean, look, it's the same with 40K, right? Like the Imperium is definitively
not nice.
Not nice, right?
Yeah. They're very. Sigmar is like. They're not nice, but it's a little more hidden.
It's a little more hidden.
It's not so much that they're not nice; it's that they're all actually very human, right? They all have their own like. They have their own motivations. They're like the Greek gods, where they're like greedy or lustful or scared for their lives. Frankly,
Chaos. Chaos is like the one faction. Chaos and destruction. You kind of know what you're getting, right?
You know what you're getting. Although, what was it in the Bellicor book? I actually was reading the backstory, and it's actually quite good. I don't remember a lot of it, but
sounds great.
Very memorable.
Very, very good. Very, very good.
Oh yes, indeed.
Very good for forgetting, and that's the best kind of good, because then you enjoy it again.
Look, that I harp on Mel again, but she has not the best memory for movies and things, which is great. So she can just keep watching them. TV shows she's loved for her whole life. She'll like go back and rewatch, and it's like the first time. It's great.
That happens, Mel. That happens to my dad as well. And it's his whole life. Yes, he's almost 80 now, so I don't want to invite the comparison.
That's my wife.
But like when I was in college, I'd go home, and like we all do with our older parents, we just sit and watch TV. And my dad really got into Seinfeld, which is one of my favorite shows growing up. And so we'd watch Seinfeld together, and my dad would be like dying laughing, and I was like kind of laughing. I was like, Dad, I know you've seen this episode before, like 2 or 3 times. Like I don't think I've seen this one. Every time, I'm like, Dad, there's a giant neon chicken in Kramer's window. Like you've seen this before. I know you've seen this.
That's amazing. Yep, that's literally Mel.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
I'm envious of that.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Even GW, oh my gosh, this Tactical Rock kind of blends in seamlessly with my base.
Wow, how'd you do that?
Just painted them the same and got lucky on the textures.
That is literally perfect.
Yeah, that was kind of lucky.
I'm impressed. Oh yeah, can I get some of that? Wait, let me see that. I don't like that one.
Whoa, wait, why not?
Wait, where's my glue? Oh, it's in the other room.
Strong opinions on glue here at Tabletop Titans. I forget Adrian can keep talking.
Yeah, I can keep talking. I'm talking right now. I can't hear
That's how microphones work.
But you guys can hear me. That's right. Unless I go too far from the receiver. But, yeah. How you doing, Chad? Chad and I just had a nice talk.
Nice. I talked a little bit over the nice talk. Sorry about that.
No, that's...
I forgot to look at the...
Oh, you can see the levels? It's just like...
Yeah, I was like looking at... I can look at the levels and see what's going on.
Oh, that's funny. All right, look, we do have some super chats. Thank you all so much for your support. It really is the best way to support the channel.
Yes.
Broken Chef. Wait.
Yeah.
No, sorry. We'll get to you, Broken Chef.
Oh.
Wow, we are behind. I didn't realize. Okay, Ergenclaw. Hey, guys.
We did that one.
Thank you for your workout routine.
Yes.
Evan. Hi, Titans. Yes, haven't done this. Thank you all for hobbying inspiration and tips. Hi, Zach. I'm planning on using your weathering technique on my Tau Tidewall. Thanks again.
Oh, cool, Evan. Yeah, and I'll tell you, the AK product is really great. If you've been watching Tabletop Titans this past week, you'll notice that we've been using the new Frontiers terrain. I painted this up, and I didn't use the AK. I actually used Aquanet, which is a hairspray.
Oh, yeah.
And it works pretty similarly.
Okay.
One thing that was kind of cool, that there's both pros and cons to it. The pro was that it had to be active. Well, the pro and the con are the same. It has to be activated more than the AK. What that means is, after you put the product down and then you put your base coat that you want the weathering to reveal, the chipping to reveal, then you put either the AK chipping medium or the Aquanet, or any hairspray, and then you let that sit. You do a couple coats of it, then you put your top paint coat that you're going to have chip off. The Aquanet, you really have to then take water and like really go into that area, and it can actually be both good and bad because it's a little sloppier. Because you're like, I actually literally was using a spray bottle and spraying things. So there's pros and cons to that. The pro is that you don't like start messing with an area that you don't want to mess with an area. That you don't want to mess with because you haven't activated that with water. And the con is you have to activate it with water, and it's kind of a runny mess, but it won't mess up the end product at all. So if you for whatever reason you don't want to use the AK stuff, which I do recommend, it's good, but the Aquanet worked just as well, and it's a slightly different look. I don't think you would ever do one and then be like, oh, I wanted the look of the other.
Okay.
You could test it out. Aquanet's cheap enough. You can just go buy some hairspray. Yeah, I don't know. They both worked out pretty well. I would never recommend one over the other. The look is a little different, and I'm not even sure how to describe it. Also, yeah. I did one on Imperial terrain, which is a lot of more edges than Tau terrain. That's so it's kind of hard to know like when I say the look is different, like what
and why and how.
Yeah, and like it's almost like there's too many variables, right?
Right. Exactly.
Like trying to understand YouTube analytics.
Possible. Nobody knows. Impossible. That's why we hired a soothsayer instead.
Yeah. Easier that way.
It's just easier. Hire a professional. All right. Thank you, Kaldorf. Hey guys, any advice on doing Zenithal with different colors? Looking for grim, darkish style for Cruel Boys, SBGL and DA, and SGGL using GW color scheme.
Soul Blight Gravelords and Dark Angels and Soul Gright Gravelords using.
Yeah.
What's SGGL? Called off. What's SGGL? Darkish Style for Cool Boys, Soul Blight Gravelords, and Dark Angels. And.
Okay. Well, I think so. You can totally do Zenithal with any color, frankly. We do it all the time. It's about what you want that color, that highlight to be. Honestly, frankly, once we get Mel's Sylvaneth on the channel, we're going to see some of that, where she's working with many different kind of colors. She has like the green and browns of the trees, but then the sort of in reverse Zenithal from the glows from the bottom, which is kind of like what you're working with your dwarfs as well. It's mostly about picking a scheme or the colors that are going to work really well. With Grimdark, I think the layers that happen after, well, there's two things. One, there's picking a color palette that's relatively limited for Grimdark. That's very, very helpful. And then the other thing is the weathering. How do you weather after that? I think, yeah. He said double type. What?
Oh, double type. He just SG. So wait, called over.
Double type mistype?
No, yeah, double type mistype. So did you just mean SGL? Soul Blight Gravelords?
No, as BGL, which he did before. Let's just assume that. Any advice?
And then I do have a second question about your question. When you say different colors, do you mean?
Oh, like in
the same thing?
I see.
Yeah. Do you mean in the same, or do you just mean in general, like just some of the kind of color palettes you named? But I think honestly, either way, the answer is somewhat similar.
Okay.
Which is, honestly, Adrian really covered it. My first advice is not very original, but you know what I'm going to say, which is practice first.
Wow.
My second advice with Zenenthaling is, it seems scary, but it's not hard. It's not hard to Zenenthal.
No.
And one of the things that people worry about most, I've kind of found about Zenenthal, is that they assume or wonder if their angle is slightly different from model to model or unit to unit, how impactful that will be.
Right.
I've largely found, I will say, folks, that it's not often, it's less impactful than you think it's going to be.
Yep.
Like, surprisingly, because it's scary. You're like, am I suddenly, on top of everything that makes painting hard, am I suddenly now introducing geometry into painting? Like, because that's not
a lot.
That's not why I got into this hobby, right?
Yeah.
I got into this hobby to avoid math. Most of us to actively not do math.
You know what? If I'm painting, I can't do math.
Absolutely, like at all in my life.
Yeah.
So, I think I would say like this advice doesn't feel great, Caldor, and I appreciate your support. So I'm gonna try to give you better advice. But my two best points of advice are practice and don't overthink it. I know that those don't seem great, but as far as different colors go, I'm trying to think. To answer your question, if you're just talking about these different color schemes, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a great point of advice.
Okay.
Get AK titanium white ink, because here's what it does.
Okay.
No, it's serious.
I'm with you.
I'm
with you.
No matter what you build, it does not change your model white unless you go crazy. What it does is it just increases the value. Is that the right term?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so.
It just increases the value of the color.
Wow.
And that's all it does.
That's really powerful, actually.
It's insanely powerful.
I need to try this thing.
Yeah, you just increase the value. Like, I don't want to tell you to do it on stream, but like on the Craventhrone Guard, you could do it like on their hunchbacks.
Really, on the black?
Yeah, it's just going to increase the value a little bit.
I'm so curious.
Yeah. So get yourself a good white. Like Kat has said this before too. Like, get whatever paint you want to paint your army and get yourself a good white. And you could get yourself a good black too. You can, if you have like a black ink, you can do the opposite. You can tone things down that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my advice. Good luck.
Good, you got there. No, it's tough because you want to give a good advice, but it's also hard to be specific because it always changes.
Well, I don't know, practice and don't overthink it.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid. Remember, you can always, that's the most liberating thought for me when I'm doing a model, is that you can always start over.
Yep.
You lost time, but you didn't lose time because you learned something.
Yeah, don't overly worry about that.
Yeah.
I think people over worry about that a lot, including like the point in which they feel they need to strip a model. Almost certainly you don't need to.
Yeah. I strip models more than you, but I often don't need to. I know I often don't need to.
Yeah, you don't need to, but I don't know, I just like you are very experienced and you know what you're doing, and I trust you to make the call. I know people, even just in my life, that stress about having to strip, and I feel like it causes them unnecessary grief.
I think so.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just do it, and you also put it on the back burner, and it's just like you just kind of make it happen.
Yeah. Also, I've not stripped models before, so like it kind of goes. I've done both.
That's fair.
I don't even know if I have good advice on or good understanding on my own what causes me to do it versus not do it.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
Yeah, I should think about
Well,
that.
I can't tell.
Let me think. Metal, which I practically never work with anymore. I strip because it's so easy.
Oh, interesting.
It's just like, why not?
Metal tones?
No. Metal models.
Okay, yeah.
Like my Vespitor metal.
Yeah.
I got those.
Because the paint doesn't want to stay on it.
The paint just slides off. It's just like, why not?
That's
It's like comes off the next 2 hours later. It's just they're clean.
That's so funny. Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Carlos, for the kind words. Very, very much appreciate it. I see you. And appreciate it. Let's see. I have to finish this face before I attach it. So
I'll take the mouse and I will go through these super chats because
yeah,
the High Gladiatrix is. I need a varnisher.
Bundles? You need to varnish. We're getting to the varnish step.
Oh, that's right. And Actually, there's a couple things I need to do. So real quick, I need to varnish her. This is exciting. I actually figured this out today. I need to varnish her.
Okay.
And then I need to go in with gloss paint on her and do a few parts with gloss. Some of the metal actually I've been doing. To make it look a little shinier.
100%.
So there's a few things I do, and I also forgot to pick out a couple little strands of hair on her. So I want to do that real quick.
Oh my God, it looks it's so good, Zach.
It's just goofy with the base, right?
It's
I love the.
It's so 70s.
It's I never. It's like one of those things with a process. I was kind of like, all right, this came out okay. I don't think it's just like that bike.
Yeah.
That bike, I never would have like. If you told me that's what you're gonna do, someone's super chat and be like thinking green, Kelly green, blue from a boy's toy truck, and red for my color scheme. I'd be like, yeah, that's gonna look awful. Don't do that.
It pans out great. Yeah, if you describe that to me, which you probably did at one point, it sounded a little crazy.
It sounds crazy.
A little bit. Boop, boop, boop. Just painting my book.
Just a color. This is not going well.
It's not going well.
Well, so actually, I'll confess that I did something in a backwards order. The kind of picking out like a couple strands of hair of hers with the white. I typically in the past I've done, or in this, not the past, this model I did it on first. I did that first, and then I did the final white airbrush. And the reason I like to do that, so that's paint, and then you airbrush over what you paint when you're painting like fine detail.
Right.
And the reason I do that is because it covers it. It just like softens your mistakes. So actually, I'm going to do that real quick one more time.
Always soften your mistakes.
Always soften your mistakes. Okay, we do some more super chats here.
Oh yeah, I can do it if you're doing that now.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
Passing a mouse to each other is actually pretty dangerous.
It is very
I heard like a click, and I just like, I was like,
there's the stream.
That's it.
Oh man. Broken Chef, thank you. How fiddly were the crossbows to assemble? John is still a fiend. Look, John is 100% a fiend, and Zach knows what button I'm reaching to. So.
Thanks, nerd.
Sorry. Look, actually, they were pretty easy. I thought they were going to be more fiddly. It's basically you have this main crossbar section, and then you have the lower. No, it is. I think it's the front part, and then you have the kind of the back crossbar that they hold. And then it sits pretty well. The most fiddly part is the models mostly connect right along the knuckles. So you've got like the hands, the fingers on part of it, and then the rest has to attach. So you have to line those up. That's the most fiddly part. But the crossbow itself was not as fiddly as I expected it to be. So
it looks somewhat bulky.
It is bulky. They were pretty easy to put together.
It's the strings. I'm really probably Broken Chef is talking about.
The strings are fine. The strings are very solid. Yeah, I was totally fine with them. They do have, unfortunately, the same problem that pretty much every single Nighthawk model has, which is this horrible, terrible, no good mold line right across their back. It's really unfortunate. And with some of my older models, I have green stuffed in that. Nobody has time for that, you know?
Green, yeah.
You know which mold line I'm talking about. It's like, oof, right there. But at the end of the day, what are you going to do? I think I might do some kind of cross stitching, cross hatching on top of it to kind of cover it up a little bit. But that's actually
interesting.
Continues to be the biggest problem with the model line. Just it takes more work if you want to get rid of this completely. Otherwise, great models. I'm super excited for them. Thank you, Samurai Snuggles, amazing name. Going to get the new avatar for my Eldar soon. Was thinking of doing the blood and gold theme like in the Cauldron of Blood kit. What do you think would be a good way to do this scheme? Great question. You must be pondering this similar question.
Cauldron of Blood. Oh.
From the Daughters.
Oh, the blood and gold. What'd they say?
Yeah, blood and gold theme.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I think. Yeah, I was actually, this is a great question. I have these guys ready to go. I'm excited to paint them up as well. And I've been thinking about how I'm going to do it and also considering the blood theme. And I think what I'm going to do is fully paint the model, mostly with a lot of metallics. And then, honestly, I think I'm going to varnish it.
Yep.
And then spray it with
blood?
ghost tint fresh blood.
Ah, wait, a ghost tint.
In certain areas.
So not like blood for the blood god.
They're the same. This is a different brand. This is the Minotaur.
Ghost tint?
It's called. It's yeah. It's
I don't think it's a ghost tint. Blood for the blood god is like thick glue.
It's
not
the stuff.
thin at all.
I use it. It's the stuff. You see me use it. I use it on my ogres and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think that's the same.
not the same?
Blood for the blood god is like glue.
Oh, okay. No, then this is
It's
like,
very thick. It like has the texture of really, really thick blood as well.
Oh no, this stuff's thinner.
Okay, just to be clear for people trying to
Fresh blood.
recreate that.
Minotaur fresh blood.
Right.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna do that. But I also want to. So I think probably what I'll do is silver, and then spray it down, and then pick out some raised things in this like verdigris silver I'm doing, and gold.
Yeah.
And then not have them covered in blood.
That's
but
fun.
I think sort of the way they do it is the inner layer, the innermost layer is what is bloody.
Yeah.
And that's probably what I'm going to do as well.
That's cool. I would have never thought to do the scheme that way.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood stuff going on in this army.
Yeah, they're into blood things.
They're into collecting blood.
Blood stuffs. All right, I'm trying to attach this arm, which is his third arm, and also attached to this podium, which he's like in wreathing. In wreathing? That's a word. While he writes down Bridger's name. All right, let's see if we can make this work. This part sucks because it's like you don't want to be too handsy with the model because it'll start rubbing off paint if it's not fully cured yet. So it's kind of a pain. Oh, why is this not attaching? Okay. Ugh. Do we just hold it? Oh, it's so good. Oh my gosh. Wow, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
so
the book looks great. The paper looks amazing, dude.
Right? Thank you. Pretty minimal.
Actually, this is my favorite contrast. This is a skeleton horde. Amazing. I use it for all my skeletons, and it's just a great, rich, slightly not orangish, but kind of warm brown, and it works great for bones. I'm quite pleased. I'll get you guys a close up in a second. We got his head, and this is how like interconnected this piece is. It's nuts because now I can do his head. Uh oh. Hold on. Did I speak too soon? Where does the hair go? Oh.
Now you can do his head.
I'm a little nervous all of a sudden. Is it supposed to go underneath? I thought it goes on top. Where does the hair go? It just disappears. All right, it's going to be fine, chat.
Everything's okay.
Everything's fine.
We're okay.
Like, what? Okay, if we go underneath, like tying a tie. Like tying a tie. Okay. Totally fine. Everything's fine. Oh my god, it's so cool. Yeah, so the hair comes down and rests on the book and like trails over the book and then hangs off of the edge of it. Amazing.
So emo?
It's very emo. Alrighty. What are you working on over there?
Yeah, I know. Sorry, we got quiet.
Yeah, no
I was
worries.
kind of messing up part of her hair, but I fixed it. I ended up kind of doing like a
Yeah. That kind of silence, huh?
yeah. It was like a fixing a mistake, but I think I'm good now.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
We've definitely all been there. I was there 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So I ended up being able to fix this, and I think it's kind of interesting. I like what I did almost by accident, and like half of her hair is like more white and half is more pink.
Oh, that's fun.
So should look cool. Okay, time to varnish.
Varnish time.
Right
Add
here.
just a little glue. Yep.
And then we're just gonna do a couple areas with the, just a couple areas with gloss. Whew. By the way, if you ever wondered, two things. Yeah. Can you put Vallejo Mecha Varnish through a Sotar? The answer is yes.
I always wondered that.
And then the other thing is, what happens if you get your varnish, your matte varnish, on tufts of plant? The answer is really nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's totally fine.
Disappointing.
disappointing.
Yeah, it doesn't do much.
I'm doing some brassy brass, which is my favorite new color.
Is that really what it's called?
Yeah. Every time I mention it, you're like skeptical. Yeah, look, called brassy brass.
Brassy brass.
By Vallejo game color. It's amazing.
You know what I've been into is using Citadel Air. What's it called?
Paints
Balthazar Gold to wash over the non-Balthazar Gold.
Yeah, dude, the air of Balthazar Gold is so thin.
It's
pretty
really
much
weird.
feels
Feels
like
like a contrast.
Yeah, I don't get it because the thing is, that's what I love about. There's a couple metal paints that I love from GW, and it's Retributor Armor, obviously, and Balthazar Gold because they have amazing coverage. And so I was shocked
Lead
to
Belcher,
see.
too.
Lead Belcher, yeah. I was shocked to find that, the air version of Balthazar Gold is very non-opaque.
I mean, like having the bases and the base line and the air line of all the Citadel paints that come in both is highly recommended if you're doing stuff.
Just get all of them.
If you're doing a lot of terrain, metal stuff, armor, like definitely a thing I would recommend. Yeah, just get them all. In air, even if you're not using an airbrush, like because they wash each other weirdly nice, and there are no contrast metallics, right?
That's true.
So these are like your contrast metallics.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, this is looking good. This is one of those pieces I think that just comes together at the end, especially because I had to do so many sub-assemblies. Sub-assemblies are like the necessary evil. Like, it's not fun, personally, but it gets you those results and it saves you a headache.
Yes.
Even now, technically, I really should have finished painting the script on the book before I attached it, but I can't resist any longer. Sometimes you got to do things not because it's the smart move, but because it's a fun move.
I think when I paint models, I go through processes until like the last 10%. Then it's kind of just like Wild West.
Yeah.
I'm trying actually not to do that as much with this army.
Yeah.
To have it be.
You're trying to step it up.
Yeah.
Level up your game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's almost done. So I'm just putting. I just varnished her, and now what I'm doing is I'm going back over a lot of the metal, and putting on a gloss varnish. Because I want the metal to be shiny. On these ladies.
Yeah, can we get close up on you?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at what he's doing.
So this step's nice and easy here. Just literally going wherever I see metal and putting a little bit of gloss varnish. And honestly, the Vallejo Mecha is so intense, and this gloss varnish is somewhat subtle, but I like it. I don't want it to be like crazy bonker shiny. So it's just like a subtle shininess.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Boom, boom. Just a little bit of shininess right there. Back here.
You're in hair zone.
Ugh.
Hair zone.
Thank you.
No worries. I know it's tough. The eternal struggle.
The eternal struggle of providing good content.
With hair. Well, now you're just off screen entirely. You're like, fine. We won't put anything in front of the camera. Thank you, Liberty Fires, Zach and Adrian. Actually, sorry, it's Zach and Adrian. Thank you, Liberty Fires. By your definition of Escalation League, should the models in your 500 army be included in your 2,000 point army? I thought yes, but am I thinking about it wrong? For Zach, this is related to my first 40k game. Great question, Liberty Fires. The answer is well, no, I would generally try to include the models from the first into the second. Traditionally, that's the way it works, is that way you're actually only painting about 500 points at a time, like 25% of your army at a time. With Crusade, I also kind of recommend doing the same. Well, it's kind of encouraged to do the same thing, right? Because in the rules, you have these certain units that are building up experience and they're getting items, so to speak, over time. So both of those kind of encourage it. I don't think it's a hard and fast rule. If you feel like there's a way that works better for you, feel free. Especially because there might be certain things that you like, I don't know, maybe just don't pair well together or whatever. I could think of reasons, but Yeah, in theory, the idea is that you're just doing the same amount of work each time and just chunking it out, and it makes it more manageable rather than like, well, here's 500 points. Well, now I'm going to pay 1,000 points. And then I'm going to pay 1,500 points. Now I'm going to pay 2,000 points. That's what Zach would do, but you should really just stick with the 500 each time.
Yeah, this is a great question. I've never thought about this. I don't think I've ever played in an Escalation League. There's a Sigmar group in the area run by a friend of ours, Sony, who has set this up a few times. I've never gotten to play it. They always play Wednesdays. I always play tonight.
Yeah, that's funny. It's on purpose.
And yeah, they don't want to play Beast Claw Raiders. They're like, oh, 1 Stonehorn, 2 Stonehorns next week.
Oh my god, that'll be the worst escalation.
Yeah, it's just a Stonehorn each time.
Oh my god.
I've never played in one. I actually don't know what the etiquette is on Escalation Leagues, but like my overall feeling about what you're describing is I would say you don't have to do that. Like you don't have to keep including stuff. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, are there rules? Like I don't actually know what an Escalation League really is. Like, are there rules and like how it works? Like, I would assume there'd be rules one way or the other.
Yeah, normally, right? There's different rules. It's a format it's just a format that has existed for a long time. There's no like hard and fast rules, but traditionally, yeah, you have like your roster and you add to your roster each time.
Okay.
But like I said, I really wouldn't. The concept of an Escalation League is to help enable you. And if it's not doing that, then feel free to bend any of the rules as you see fit. That's, for me, the most important rule of Escalation. Is just help people getting excited, build up their armies a little chunk at a time. And if that doesn't work, chuck it out the window. It's no good.
Yeah. Yeah, that would, yeah, I think that's the best answer. But if you're thinking of starting one, well, there's no better answer than what Adrian just said. I would say either way, if you're in one, check the rules. If you're thinking about starting one, I think that's the best rule. But I would just make sure whatever you decide, be clear, I guess.
Be clear and maybe check with your play group, honestly. Yeah. Thank you, Michael Cody. Everyone have a Thursday so good that you're happier than me realizing that while Adrian can talk and can't, and chat can't, I control my Titans fan fiction. Oh, no. Oh. Adrian can talk, and he can also read exactly what you type in the super chat. So. Oh my gosh. Oh no.
That's really funny.
I love it. I love it. Well played, Michael Cody. And hey, thank you as always for the support and the laughs. What's up, Matthew Nurgle?
All right.
Are you done?
Yeah.
All right.
Actually.
I'll glam cam her. The gloss on her hair is still drying, but.
Glam it up. Give us a moment as the camera focuses. Eventually. Up. Boom. Dude.
Is that focused?
It's possibly.
Possibly focused?
Yeah. How's that? Is that helpful? It's quite dark.
It is quite dark. Why is it so dark?
I can go grab a light for you.
We have a light right here.
Yeah, but like a handheld light.
I have a handheld light right here.
What? Oh, that one's... Whoa, that's too much. That's way too much. There you go. There you go. There you go. That's better.
You found the spot.
Okay.
It looks amazing.
Here she is, High Gladiatrix.
So impressive.
The whip is so wacky. I love it.
It's so excessive.
It's so excessive.
I love it.
She's got her verdigreed armor, her pink hair, her purple base. Yeah, it's fun. I'm into this color scheme.
You really nailed it, I think.
It's a wacky color
looks
scheme.
Absolutely
right?
Incredible.
I'm excited for this. It's a cool model too, man. Yeah.
That's so cool. Here, pull the light back. There, perfect. Stop. There you go.
Okay.
I just didn't want to get it blown out because you really want to do justice. Just amazing.
I'll probably check a couple things. Looks like maybe up around where her hair meets her head, I might put a thin, careful line of Druchii Violet to kind of show the hairline.
Yeah.
That's like, when you do that, you can lean towards the hair, not towards the skin. Because if it goes up into the hair a little bit, it actually kind of just starts to slightly imply like roots, which is interesting.
Oh, that's funny.
But if you go down the skin, it just looks bad. Yeah, so if you're nervous about getting that thin line correct, aim towards the hair, not towards the skin.
Good point.
Yeah. Cool. All right, we ready for your
Let's take a look at Scriptor Mortis. I definitely have some touch-up to do, but I'm quite happy.
Yeah, this looks...
Oh, he's too tall.
He's so tall.
Oh, man. I'm definitely going to break this camera.
Why?
Because I'm going to move it.
Oh, yeah. Bear with us if we go dark. This camera has Oh, you got it. This camera has a funky connection with its HDMI cable.
Yeah, wackadoodle.
Oh yeah, this guy looks great. I really love the book.
It's so multi-dimensional.
Yeah, this model's
as in
great.
3 dimensions.
Yeah, I definitely. I don't know. I would love to see if we can do a decal.
A Bridger, it would be so good.
Bridger's face in there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like on the page he's pulling up.
Yeah.
Just like slide it in there and like a little.
Oh
bit
yeah, it's on the next page.
Yeah, just like a little bit of like script, just like a little bit of like writing underneath it. Like it's like vague. We don't know what it says. And he's just like checking out this page of the bridge.
Right. Gosh, it's so dynamic.
Yeah.
This is truly the king of the nerds right here.
This guy's a nerd. He brought like look on the reading land. He's like, I want to make sure I have enough light to read my book.
It's so fun. Oh my god.
Too much.
Well, that's terrifying. All right, I forgot. That's my job. Oh no! Got glue in my hand. Come here.
No. Come here.
First reaction.
First reaction. I got glue in my hand. Come here.
Awesome.
Cool. Do we have any more?
We do.
We have a couple, yeah.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Thank you, Carlos. Hey guys, love the stream. AWA strikes me as Hero Hammer and shooting/magic. I want to play Daughters of Khaine or DKOK.
Death Chords of Khaine.
I was like, wouldn't that be Death Chords of Khaine? I think you're saying Daughters, but let us know, Carlos, unless we're thinking. But I want to melee. Viable?
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, I guess it's a pretty big deal, one way or the other.
Carlos, we'll check and see if you're in. Otherwise, we'll try to answer.
Let's do this. Let's answer
do
Liberty
Liberties,
Fires,
yeah.
and then because Carlos, I saw you were here earlier, so we'll give you a chance, just to make sure we're answering it correctly. Thank you, Liberty Fires. More details. My first game was an Escalation League game, and my opponent shared that his 500-point army was not going to be in his 2K, so he made an army to take advantage of the small board, and it felt bad. Oh. That's weird. You need rules. You need rules in the league. So just to be, again, like Zach said, I think the most important is to be clear, right? Do they have to be in the same? Do they have to be the same models? Frankly, when we did Crusade, which was kind of my most recent escalation style, we. What did we do?
Played with Jesse and who's been on the stream.
Yeah, Nick who's been on the stream, Shane who's been on the stream.
Yeah.
And it's a smaller group, so we kind of had an understanding. Frankly, I'll be honest. So we didn't have to enforce it, but I think it's on the league to sort of state those rules. Can you swap it out? Can you not? Because if you can swap it out, then that's their right to sort of tech towards that. If it's not, then yeah, that's not in the spirit. So I think it
feels
really
like
depends.
not in the spirit. It feels like that's just an issue.
That one does kind of feel not in the spirit.
I mean, I didn't. I guess I didn't think about it that way. So,
yeah.
When you think about it that way, then I would say the answer should be yes. Now, escalation. Excuse me, guys. Escalation just means
increasing points.
Yeah, you're not like leveling up characters and stuff, right?
No, but. Well, that's not a necessary component.
Okay.
In the past, that can be part of it, and then Crusade also kind of has this built in.
Yeah.
And that incentivizes. Well, here's the funky thing about Crusade, though.
Yeah.
In theory, you're incentivized to keep the same units because they gain experience.
Right.
But not always, actually, especially in the early game.
Yeah,
I had I played Death Guard, and I had my Flame Dude.
Yeah.
And I wanted him to have the relic that it's like a fight last bubble. Relic.
Right.
Or count as not charging.
Okay.
And it was actually.
I don't know the specific Death Guard relics, but
right. And it was
good,
actually easier to just buy a new character that just comes with that upgrade than to level up my guy and have him get specific kills. So that was a problem with the design of Crusade.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're getting in the weeds here.
No, I've not really thought about that. Liberty Fires, like what you're saying, that makes total sense why you should do it that way.
Yeah. I think I would, if I was to run one, I would say they have to be part of your next armies, or have some limitation, like 250 of those points have to be in all your armies or whatever.
Yeah. So here's
the sideboard.
Right. Here's like the flip side narrative aspect to it is like, in some ways, while what your opponent did probably felt bad, there's some sense to be made there. Like, I imagine that in the book, like GW really believes we only ever play 2,000 points on stream. Most events are 2,000 points. I've often wondered, does GW make some units to say like, hey, these are going to be good at 1,000 points?
Right.
Like we anticipate, Like, you know, I have to wonder, like, mostly everything that Tau Codex is good.
Yeah.
But I've often thought, like, Vespid must be extra kind of good at 1,000 points.
There's certain things that are very, very mean at 1,000, or in 500, right?
Right. Like, you just can't, you're not going to be able to get away from Vespid.
Yeah.
And they're kind of nasty, right? So, like, they can hide, they can jump out, they can wipe something out. Lots of things can do that. I'm kind of wonder, I've often thought that, like, would this unit be extra, like, what about sniper drones? Like when the only character is maybe like a little one. Like I've often wondered that, or in snipers in general, because snipers are kind of like meh at 2,000. But so I don't know, Liberty. I would say that would be like a flip side to that argument. Is like they're kind of narratively like they're showing up to do the battle that you all know you're showing up to do. But again, if it hasn't been talked about, then it just feels bad.
It's about the clarity of intent. You know, like is the goal to sort of like be able to tech into whatever's good at each mission level, and that, like you said, can be interesting in and of itself. Is it not? And that just needs to be made clear by whoever's running the campaign. So, Carlos, thank you. You didn't have to super chat. You could just say it, but nevertheless, appreciate it.
Thank you for your support.
Never read and type Daughters of Khaine. So yes, Daughters of Khaine, melee focused. Is that viable?
Yes, absolutely. They're crazy good at melee. And in fact, like for shooting, they only have one shooting unit. It's really good. I'd be shocked if it could still shoot twice when the new book comes out.
I would be shocked as well.
I think that's a little bit feel bad. My guess is, I have no clue. My guess is it's going to have some kind of perk to its shooting from Morathi, or what. That's how they currently can do that. I don't know.
Right.
But my thinking is that they're mostly a melee army. Morathi is insanely scary in melee.
Right.
Witch Elves are arguably one of the best units in their current book, which is an old book. It's not that old.
They're so good.
I love Adrian reaching for the oxide.
I want to do this step.
He's just like, if you leave the model too long, like one of us is going to reach for the oxide. I actually wanted to avoid down here because I wanted like a cleaner, more like cared for look.
Totally.
Like stylistic.
This guy's ancient.
Yeah,
so
but he's
I definitely want it.
So I think they're. I'm building a ton of stuff, but I'm anticipating this army mostly being melee. I would say.
I agree.
You're saying that it strikes you as hero hammer and shooting magic. Let's address that. I think right now, I'm very into AOS right now, so I will say this. There are a couple shooting units that when you play them for the first time, feel bad. But most shooting units I've gone up against that feel bad, you can usually kind of figure it out. They've also adjusted a lot. Like honestly, the change to Unleash Hell was huge.
Big deal. Much more play. Like you can play around it.
And it's not the 6-inch; it's the models within 6 inches.
Right.
Because like getting shot by 4 Judicators on your way into combat is way different than getting shot at by 10.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or like 3, right? Or whatever it is. Same with Cruel Boys. Like if a man skewer shoots twice or once.
Depends if they moved.
So for Unleash Hell, usually
if they usually, I don't know. It really
depends. It doesn't depend. Okay.
It depends how they moved in the previous turn.
It's once or twice.
Yeah.
Again, they're units of 3 usually, or 6,
9
or 9.
Sorry,
okay,
I'm not helping your case.
No, you are. Because,
the bigger the squad, the better.
Getting shot at by 3. Getting 6 dice thrown at you at -1.
The bases aren't tiny, so
like it's not. Yeah, a lot of that stuff. That's a great point. A lot of the scary stuff in AOS that makes people, 40K players, like very concerned about jumping in, is mitigated by these factors that don't seem apparent. And one thing is like base size. Size, and also the 3 stay away from 3 inches is huge.
Huge deal. It's huge.
Huge. Yeah. It totally changes the feel of the game compared to 40K, in a way that's required. Yeah. Melee is, I think melee is how you win games mostly in 40K.
Agreed.
Sigmar. And in 40K right now. The best armies that do overall the well are not like overall the most goodness. Well, the armies that do well, or the most good, one might say, are the armies that have like this core of 1 large block of their troops and then 2 smaller blocks of their troops, and then like the specialty things. So like 40 Witch Elves, or 20 Witch Elves, 10 Witch Elves, 10 Witch Elves, or 2 units of 20, or 3 units of 20, or like a big core of like melee troops. Seraphon they do it with weirdly skinks. that you can buff up. The hero hammer thing is real.
Yeah.
But some armies no, like Bone Reapers.
Definitely not the case.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Daughters, it's Marathi, but the rest of the heroes are cool.
They're support characters.
They're support
other
characters,
than her.
yeah.
So you could definitely lean into that side of things, and they're amazing support characters. Like, oh my God, the Slaughter Queen or the Hag Queen.
Both are good.
Amazing.
Yeah. This new one is good.
And that's at the heart of it. Like, oh my gosh, Witch Elves with the 5-up and a 5-up rerollable.
Oh,
is
they're
just
safe.
nuts.
Yeah.
So crazy tough to get through, and they can fight so well.
And then
double fight, I think.
Oh, 5-up reroll. Yeah.
Ugh. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I think melee is what the game is. I think GW probably wants it that way. But you're right. There are certain armies that are a little bit stronger at shooting. Caradon can be kind of strong at shooting.
Yeah.
And you can still shoot in combat. So it's not like you can tag somebody out of it.
No, you can just tag them to make them shoot at something you don't want.
Yeah.
Which is something you can, even look at Tuesday's game. It's like zombies will charge one thing or pile into something and then touch the other one, so they can only shoot them. And that is really rewarding as someone who I generally tend to prefer melee armies, and it's really rewarding to try to go against that. Even so, yeah. Hey, hope you play. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be super cool. Daughters of Khaine, a great army. They're one of the armies in Sigmar. Seraphon's up there, Stormcast, that can do everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. Cool.
I think. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure that's the last one. Okay. Thank you, Fugs. And Fug says,
"Thanks, nerd." Yeah, we did it. Cool, Adrian. What's coming up on Tabletop Titans over on the other side of that wall?
That's right, right over there. We have Bridger chained up. No, Bridger is still on SLA duty, so he's out for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
So you're stuck with us, nerds. It's gonna be fun. Tomorrow is Thursday, and I'm super excited to be playing my sisters against John's Blood Angels.
Oh yeah.
Two, I'd say fan favorites, but they're really personal favorites.
Yeah.
John loves Blood Angels. I've been really liking getting back into my sisters. I'm going Hero Hammer on it. Funny enough, we should mention that.
Hero Hammer.
Here,
Yeah.
I'm taking Morven Val. I'm taking Saint Celestine, and I'm taking the Triumph of St. Catherine.
Oh, fun.
Which is not good, but way cool.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be tomorrow on Tabletop Titans.
Is that like 1,000 points? No.
No, she's
700?
220.
No, like total.
It's 700 points in characters.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
Okay.
700 points in characters, and they're all like fighting characters, so it's gonna be great. Then on Saturday, of course, is the pre-order of the Tyranids.
Yes.
So, let's say we'd probably be playing some book there if G-Dubs sent us some stuff.
Yeah.
And possibly a brand new model.
Yes.
Look, that's what's coming up. Of course, as always, we're trying to grow this channel, so please do like and subscribe. It is the best way to grow it. I know it's the YouTube thing, but it generally does help us. So if you can do that, really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. As we like to say, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, and always be creating. See you guys.
Bye. Yeah, I probably lost the end screen. Where's the end screen?
Oh, it's just bottom right.
All right.
Thanks, nerds.
Yeah. Oh, it's this one. Oh, no.